Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle, I'm a goddess, guide and intuitive tarot reader, and today I'm so excited to be bringing you a reading all about where is this connection heading? Will it lead to committed union? So for today's reading we have the beautiful goddess Parvati, who is the Hindu goddess of devotion. Now Parvati is a wonderful goddess that you can call on if you are wanting to increase a devotion to someone or something in your life, if you're wanting to call in some sort of commitment, some sort of like a sacred partnership. So if you are single and you maybe have a few connections in mind or a connection in mind, if there's someone that you have a feeling about, you can use this relationship. You can call on Parvati to help step into the being the right person that can magnetize in a long-term committed partnership, if that's something that you want. Or if you're already in a connection, already in some form of relationship, maybe the early stages of a relationship, and you're wanting to increase a sense of commitment or ascend to a higher level of commitment. Perhaps you might be wanting to get married, or you may be just wanting to cohabit, or whatever the equivalent is in your culture or for you. Essentially, Goddess Parvati helps you to devote your energy to someone or something in your life. However, it's someone or something that is worthy of your time and energy, and someone or something that is aligned with you. So she will help you to, and in this reading we'll be looking into whether someone or something that you've been devoting to is worth your time and energy, that you've been investing in them, or that you've been wanting or considering putting into that connection. If it's a new connection, she will help you sort of discern whether it's going to be the right connection that is going to actually lead to, like, your investment kind of paying off in a sense, or like, it's going to lead to a committed partnership. It's going to lead to a sacred long-term committed relationship in some form. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a breakdown about the reading before I introduce the piles, I'm going to do this reading a little bit differently. I'm going to do a bit of a live shuffle on camera. So if you want to watch the shuffling part of the reading, there'll be a timestamp separate to the portion of the reading where I'm actually filming the messages. So if you don't want to watch the shuffling part, you can just click the second timestamp and that will take you straight to your messages. So also we're going to be taking a look when I first start the reading at just to do like an energy check-in initially. So you can use that to see if you've come to the right pile. So that will describe your person, that will describe this connection, this partnership. It will describe like the qualities that your person is bringing to the dynamic, and then we'll take a look in the tarot portion. I'll be live shuffling the tarot during the reading to get the answers to whether it will lead to union, and see where get a little bit more detail on where it's heading, and then we'll finish up with some guidance. So that's the kind of overall structure of the reading. So to introduce each of the piles, if you are drawn to the Lovers card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, you will be pile number 1. If you are drawn to the Lovers card from the Phantom Wise Tarot, you will be pile number 2. And if you are drawn to the Love card, which is the equivalent of the Lovers card in the Goddess Tarot, you will be pile number 3. Okay, my love, so pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose which pile is drawing you in. If you are drawn to more than one pile, it may be that there are some messages across the different piles that you just need to draw on. Take what resonates to create your reading today. Only ever take what resonates, leave the rest, and I will see you in your piles. Okay, my loves. Welcome back, pile number 1. If you chose the Lovers card from the Everyday Witch Tarot, this is going to be the portion of the reading where I'm going to be pre-shuffling your cards. Okay, so if you want to skip straight to the part where I'm reading the messages or channeling the messages, then check out the description box below and there'll be another timestamp for your piles. So let's get into what the astrology oracle has. Can I have some energy, please, Spirit, for pile 1? Pile 1's person. Tell me about pile 1's person. Okay, we've got Mercury. Anything else? Tell me about Pale One's person. Whoa. Okay, those two. Okay. Let's see. We have got... We have some more cards about the qualities of Pale One's person. More cards about the qualities. Whoa. Okay. One more card. Qualities of Pale One's person. And jumped. Okay. Some more energy for Pale One. What energy does Pale One bring? Energy does Pale One bring? How do they feel about Pale One? Whoa. Exciting. Okay. And what qualities do they bring to the dynamic? What qualities do... Whoa. Okay, this came flying out. Alrighty. I think that is all energy for Pale One. Okay. Let's move into the portion of the reading where we go into your messages. Okay, welcome back, Pale One, to the channeled messages part of your reading. So I'm going to start off tapping into your energy intuitively from this card, and then we'll take a look at the cards that came through. This is the energy check-in portion of your reading, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail with the tarot to look at like basically where the connection is heading, and will it lead to union. So right off the bat, Pale One, I get really lovely energy from the two of you, from this connection, especially with the two little cats with their two little tails making love hearts here. I'm kind of getting the impression that this is like, kind of like how cats can be like a spirit animal. It's like your spirit selves, like intertwined already. It's like your higher selves are each already very connected and maybe communicating with each other even. So even if you don't know this person very well yet, or like you may not have even met them yet, to be honest, or it may be very new. I don't necessarily get the impression that you're already in some kind of relationship, though you maybe. We'll get into a little bit more detail when we look at the tarot portion, but just energetically what I'm picking up is, yeah, it feels very new, but it feels like you're already very interlinked or very interconnected, already in the kind of realm of spirit, like in the 5D world, like your higher selves, or it's like what I'm hearing is like your monadic soul is like already connected. So it's like you still have your two individual selves, you still have your two individual higher selves, but then there's like a part of you above your higher selves, like a higher consciousness, like a monad that kind of connects and bridges the two of you. And I feel like you're already very connected. It's a very spiritual connection. So you may well already know what this is. For some of you, you may, with the fire there, I'm just kind of getting the vibe of like twin flame. This could be a twin flame, so you may know who this is. Or it could be that type of dynamic, it's a very like high level soulmate, like a very spiritual connection in a sense. I feel like also with the outdoor scenery here, the kind of camping thing, when you do, or if you do come into union, and we'll get a bit more detail about that in a moment, but if you do in the physical world, doing some sort of outdoor pursuits like hiking, camping, things out in nature, there's a lot of green. They're both wearing a lot of green here, so it's just giving me kind of strong nature vibes. You might just both really love nature. You might love doing a lot of things together, or like a lot of like rituals, like maybe, like fire things, like you might kind of build a bonfire together, or do a lot of sort of like witchy type rituals. Like both figures here are wearing witch hats, and you've been drawn to the Everyday Witch Tarot. So, this person could be sort of identifies like in that kind of witchy wizardy type energy, or you could just kind of have those sort of rituals in common where you just like to kind of honor the the wheel of the year, for example, or something like you like going to like bonfire night or something like that. You like to sort of do certain things to honor the changes in the seasons, or to like honor nature or worship nature in some way. I'm sort of getting very grounded energy with that green and the the outdoor, sort of being out in nature, but also with a lot of the purple in the background, it's very spiritual as well. So it's like this kind of dichotomy almost, where it's like it's a very high level, very ascended, almost very cosmic spiritual partnership, but then it's also something that when or if you come into union, it's very grounded and very earthy and very connected with like the rhythms of the earth, or like the energy of the earth. So yeah, they could be someone who kind of just exhibits both those sides, where they're both very spiritual. They may be very interested in a lot of like spiritual things, or you may be, and you may kind of inspire that in them. But also it's a very grounded connection as well. It's very practical, maybe. So there may be an earth sign. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail when we look at this. But yeah, that's kind of just straight off the bat what I'm picking up from your particular Lovers card. So let's have a look at the cards that we've pre-shuffled here. So we've got the 10th house. Okay, so something around, and this is interesting. This is green, the color green, and we were speaking about the green there with the nature, and also green is linked with the heart chakra. So I feel like 10th house is status, recognition, professional achievement, so on and so forth. So I feel like what this person does for that realm, in that realm of their life, for their status, for their professional life, is something that they love, because I'm just getting this like very pure, very grounded, very earthy, very natural, very heart-centered vibe from them. So they could be in some kind of career that they really enjoy. It could be what they do for their career, what they do for their professional success is something out in nature. Maybe they're like, I'm hearing like personal trainer, but like, more sort of not so much in a gym necessarily, but like out and about, like maybe they train athletes or something, or they train for marathons or hike, like, sort of long hikes or something like that. Can you tell that I'm a really like super sporty person because I know all the words? No. But I feel like they do something very physical or something very out in nature. That's kind of just what I'm getting through here with that 10th house and the color green. It's a very like natural energy that's coming through. We've also got the 8th house. So interesting how the colors are mirroring the purple and the green on the Lovers card, and we've got purple and green here as well. So again, I'm picking up that like purple energy, that kind of the interest in, say, spirituality, in the occult, in the kind of like the other side, what's beyond the veil, very sort of scorpionic themes. They might be like someone, I'm just getting kind of someone who loves watching like CSI, or like kind of murder mysteries, or kind of, 8th house can rule like, death and all that kind of thing, like the kind of interest in things that are somewhat like dark or mysterious or something. So they have this interesting vibe, again, this interesting kind of almost like a dichotomy between that kind of the occult, the spiritual realm, and the sort of earthy realm, the natural world. So yeah, they may have a lot of placements in the 8th house. We've also got Lilith. So again, Lilith is kind of echoing what I've been saying about with the 8th house and the occult, and that kind of dark energy. Lilith is also very independent, fiercely independent, and very unconventional, and will go her own way. So that energy, this person may have like Lilith in their 8th house or something like that, the asteroid Lilith, or they may just have very Lilith energy, in the sense that like they don't do something conventional for a career, or they don't want to like, it's like the energy of not wanting to bow to someone, not wanting to what's the word I'm hearing? Koto to someone. It's like kind of not wanting to answer to a boss, essentially. Like they want to maybe be their own boss, so maybe they're an entrepreneur or they do their own thing, which could explain, if they're something like a trainer or they kind of work outside or with their hands in nature or something. They can kind of like set their own hours or something like that, and they can like be very independent in their work and what they do. And they may be like that in relationship as well, possibly, like in terms of, I'm just thinking with the eighth house also relating to like sex. It could be that in sexual partnerships, they don't like to be reined in, is what I'm hearing. Like they like to, they don't want to be in a position of submission to someone else. They don't want their energy to be controlled by someone else. So they will kind of go their own way with what they're looking for in terms of those types of connections. Interesting. And then we've got Mercury, planet of communication. So I feel like this person could have strong Mercury placement somewhere in their chart. So they could be a very good communicator, or they could be very good at communicating in terms of either of these things. So either 10th house, so either in terms of their career, in terms of their public image, in terms of what they do professionally, but also in terms of like in the bedroom, is what I'm hearing. They could be very good at communicating, very good with, or just very good with communicating around things that are, because eighth house can also rule things that are taboo. So things that are hidden, that are buried, that are not normally talked about by people. Maybe they're a bit unconventional in their approaches to relating, physically relating and things like that, or they just have they have an ability to be able to talk about things that may normally be taboo, or may normally be something that people find difficult being vulnerable about, or people find difficult opening up about. They have a good grasp on what they want, on what they like, on what they will kind of like on their preferences, I guess, or like on their deeper emotions or deeper instincts or deeper desires. It's like they can go deep with someone. It's that kind of Lilith, Scorpio, eighth house, all of that is very like they're able to kind of deep dive. They're able to like dissect, is what I'm hearing, like dissect kind of like if there's something that needs to be talked about, I guess, like something difficult, like they don't have, then they're not going to frighten away from it, like where something needs to be like disentangled or discussed or like examined or talked about. Like they're comfortable to kind of like go deep and talk about the deep things, talk about the things that may be taboo. So that is the energy from the astrology. We've also got productivity. I'm going to pull all of the other cards out now and we'll just look at it all together. So we've got productivity, interesting, and revision, interesting. Okay. And we've got passion. This is the energy that they bring to the connection, or how they feel about you. We've got passion. Love to see that. And desire. Woo. Okay. Yeah. So strong kind of sexual, passionate, sacral chakra, vibes here. And then the energy that they bring to, or the qualities they bring to the dynamic between the two of you. We've got alchemic, card number 25, and psychic. Interesting. A lot of purple energy again, like I was speaking about with the Lovers card. I'm just going to move Parvati up a wee bit. Put your Lovers card down here. Just have a wee rearrange for a second here. Make sure you can see all the cards. So yeah, interesting. Psychic. And yeah, so this is coming back to what I was saying about the two of you may have like a sort of a connection already on the 5D. You may already have a sort of telepathy between each other, or your souls are very interconnected and you can sense each other or communicate psychically, or you get like psychic downloads or information about this person maybe in your dreams or vice versa. It's like there's like it's like both of your third eyes are very open. You're both very intuitive, very perceptive, able to connect with like the other realm, which is that eighth house thing of like you can kind of go beyond the veil. You can connect with things that are beyond. You can understand like the spirit world or the world of the occult or whatever. So it's kind of like there's no fear of that. So this person may not necessarily know that this is you, that's what they're picking up on though. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail when we go into the tarot, but I do feel like, yeah, with Mercury being about communication and psychic, it's like there's a lot of psychic information or a lot of psychic communication between the two of you, a lot of like telepathic or intuitive communication between the two of you. And for some of you, if you don't really know this person very well or they don't know you very well, this could be at such early stages that you don't really even realize that it's coming from them, or they don't realize it's coming from you or something. But if you're a little bit further along, you may have even sort of had for some of you I'm picking up, you may have even had a period of time where you were in some kind of romantic connection or something, and then you're apart. And so you both know exactly what was going on here. You both know that you're getting these, you're able to communicate in this way. Or whoever out of the two of you is slightly more awake. And I'm kind of getting that they are very highly intuitive. They may be blocking it at the moment, but I feel like they are intuitive and they are picking up on, like, they are aware of information, of like communication that's coming from you. So I feel like that's one thing that is very strong between you. And it's like you're even if you're in separation now, or even if you're not together now in the 3D on Earth, in the 5D realms, your souls are connected, which is why you have such good communication. And it's also something that will stand you in really good stead for when you do come together, or if you do come together. I can't promise anything. We'll get into the detail when we look at the tarot, but hopefully if you come together, that's a very strong strength, or it's a very strong strength. Yeah. Great adjective there. That's a really it's a huge strength within your connection, that you already have a really beautiful psychic connection, or you really have a beautiful foundation of communication, because you can just pick up on, you can just intuitively pick up on how the other person is feeling. You can sense it. It's that energy of being able to like sense things. With passion and desire, I feel like, this is fairly self-explanatory, guys. I feel like you know what this is talking about. I think they're very attracted to you. They're very passionate about you. They definitely desire you. Again, this will be slightly different for all of you. If you are already in some kind of connection, you may already know, like things in the bedroom department might be very good, or they may, it may be very obvious that they're very physically attracted, or very passionate about you, and they desire you. That's not to say though that like that's a foundation for it, because you're coming to a reading about a committed union. So this may not necessarily be something that like, that the sort of chemistry side of things doesn't necessitate that this is going to become a committed partnership. We will check that out, but this is at least the energy they're showing up with, or the kind of how they feel about you at the moment. There is a lot of passion there. I am seeing though with the number 7, again, this is like 7 is quite a spiritual number. So 7 days in the week, and there are seven main chakras and so forth, and it's seen as a very spiritual number. So I feel like this is like a passionate but very sacred passion, like a very it's a very respectful passion. Like I don't feel like this is necessarily someone who kind of is coming in and it's like there's just this shallow desire or a physical desire or anything like that. With alchemic being here, I feel like this person, or what they're bringing to the dynamic is a sense of being able to alchemize things. So if there has been anything difficult, especially with what we were speaking about with 8th house Lilith, and that ability to deep dive, and that ability to like get under the surface and like kind of speak about things that are difficult, speak about things that might have been buried, speak about things that might have been repressed. I feel like with alchemic, one thing that is going to happen within your union if you come together in the 3D, is that it will alchemize a lot of painful, repressed, buried things within your soul or within your psyche, and vice versa. I feel like it's like this does feel like a very sort of twin flamey type connection, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to resonate with that label. It's just a label. You don't have to resonate with that. It's just a type of journey that is often very spiritual in nature, and it's often designed to be something where it will really test the both of you, because it's designed to be very healing. It's designed to actually do that excavatory work of bringing to the surface things that have been buried within your souls. Often it's a partnership where you've had past lives together, so which may be the case. It may be that, again, with some of this like communication between the two of you have memories of past lives that may have surfaced when you met them, or even once you come into a partnership, you may have memories of past lives come in. With productivity here, I feel like, again, this is kind of connected with this 10th house. So with the productivity and this 10th house being a strong placement for them, they may have a lot of planets in their 10th house, for example. There's a sense of like, they're very willing to put the work in, is what I'm getting. I feel like they are like that within their career, certainly. So in the 10th house realm of, what they do for professional success and so forth and recognition, they're very successful. But I feel like also within a relationship, they are willing to kind of, take on their fair share of the work, or be very productive and working towards like an equal reciprocal partnership. Again, there's a lot of nature energy here, so we had the sort of the camping vibes here with the little bonfire and the being outside, and then with this card as well, we've got this beautiful nature scene. So I feel like there is something around nature that's very important to the two of you, or like what I'm hearing is like returning to your true nature, which is bringing me to this revision card. I feel like one thing that this person is going to bring up in your dynamic, or brings to the dynamic, is this like revision of things that might have happened in either of your past. It's going to like help you see things in a new light. So again, it's that kind of that energy of like doing that deep dive, bringing things to the surface, bringing up repressed memories, bringing up old possibly traumas, or even just like limiting beliefs or storylines or something, and helping you to like work with those threads and revise your history, and alchemize that pain into gold, so that you can like move forward in your life. So it's a very healing connection, very spiritual connection. Both having the green there, that as I mentioned, I think I mentioned in the introduction when I was speaking about the Lovers card, this is connected with the heart chakras. So it's a very heart-centered person, a very heart-centered connection, but also very spiritual. So those two chakras, the third eye chakra and the heart chakra, are very prominent here. And I feel like through this sort of spiritual vision that they have, or through this like heightened spiritual connection that the two of you have, it's going to allow you to do that deep dive work. It's going to allow you to excavate out any pain in your heart, anything that's blocking you from unconditional love, anything that is not allowing you to see the truth of like who you really are, and as I said, alchemize any kind of pain into gold. So if that resonates, if this sort of feels like the energy of the connection that you're in, or like it could possibly be something that, if you've got a sort of a sense of this person, a sense of this connection, and you feel like this could be something that it could evolve into, then that you've picked the right pile, and we will go into your tarot. So I'm going to leave these out, I think, in case I need to refer to them again. Sorry, I'm just being noticed as well before I go into the tarot quickly, this ladder here. So, and again, this is interesting with what I was saying at the beginning with the purple and the green, and the sort of the dichotomy between the like spiritual and the earthy realm. And we've got that again with this like cosmic vibe here with the star and the moon. And this third eye, this huge third eye, and then these trees that are like planted. So there's something around like planting spiritual wisdom or knowledge. I feel like maybe this person is going to help like awaken you even more, help open your third eye even more, or vice versa, or both of you are both going to do that for each other. And there's this sense with the ladder of like ascending to something, like ascending to a higher, heightened level of like intuitive awareness that you're going to help like anchor and plant into the earth. So yeah, again, that kind of dichotomy between this sort of cosmic, picking up sort of cosmic awareness or picking up information beyond the veil and then bringing it down and planting it into the earth. So yeah, I feel like this may be something that like when you come into contact with this person, this may activate your psychic skills is kind of what I'm getting, and it may help you to like ascend in some way. Like your psychic skills may just like suddenly go through the roof kind of thing is what I'm getting. Like there's a sense of like there's a sense of kind of ascending, elevating each other's awareness or consciousness or something like that. But then also staying very grounded and grounding it back into the earth, not getting sort of so carried away. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at where the connection's heading. Where is Spirit? Whoa, that came out fast. 8 of Pentacles. Something either they're working on. Again, we've got the green energy. So the green, the heart chakra, working on something they love, being very productive, mastering something. So it could be that this person is in an energy of productivity and 10th house type things at the moment. They may be very passionate about you. They may desire you. You may have this very strong psychic connection. But if it hasn't manifested in any kind of like physical action from them or a commitment or anything in the 3D level yet, this may be because they're kind of focused on this work, on mastering something, on like working really hard in their career, getting their name known in some way, or achieving some level of professional success or something like that. Kind of in possibly in an energy of, I'm getting a little bit of workaholic vibes, possibly, or just being very, very focused on that part of their life right now. So that just kind of came out straight off the bat. I barely asked the question. So Spirit, where is this? Okay, that's gone on the floor. What's going on with the cards? King of Wands. Interesting. It's quite like teacher energy I get from this particular King of Wands. So again, I mean, Wands energy is very passionate. So we've got passion and we've got Wands, which is the fire, linked with the fire element, and also spiritual, having that spiritual connection. So I feel like, sorry, I'm getting so much information through. I'm trying to just like merge it all into a coherent sentence. Yeah, with the dragon thing, I feel like this is like very powerful sacral chakra energy. So there's a lot of desire, a lot of passion. Despite the fact that they're really focused on their work, this person still has that like passionate desire. They still have this like chemistry, or like it's like they are very lured. They're very like compelled to be with you in some way. Possibly with this, him pointing at this globe, and he's kind of looking at the cat being like, should I go here? I wonder whether this person is like not in the same country as you at the moment or something, like you're in separation, or you've met them but you can't be together because you're from different cultures or different countries. And so that could be another thing you have to kind of traverse or something, another issue maybe. Um, or they travel, or the other thing that I'm getting through is they travel a lot for their work, and they're in this zone at the moment of being very productive, traveling a lot for work, focusing on these 10th house matters of like, making their career kind of global and that kind of thing, possibly. Where is this connection heading? But I do feel like, in relation to you, they're very passionate about you. With that orange dragon and this kind of fire up the side of the thing. It's like, there's a lot of orange is the color of the sacral chakra. So there's a lot of like sexual energy there, a lot of sensual energy there. Two of Pentacles, interesting. Juggling something, trying to find a balance. Yeah, so that it could be that they're kind of either juggling two different options at the moment, or like trying to work out how to juggle this work with a relationship, with this pull they feel towards having some kind of commitment with you or taking this connection further. Especially if it is like a long distance situation or something. It could be like, I've got to really focus on my career right now. Like, do I really have the energy all the time to kind of like keep, flying back, or, to have a long distance relationship or something. So there's something around kind of juggling something, but also trying to find that balance between like not working too hard and kind of also having time for relationships and passion and love. Where is this connection heading? Where is this? Five of Pentacles reversed. Sorry, I take reversals as guided. So yes, I feel like that is. I feel like with this, what I'm just getting straight off the bat and what I'm hearing is like they found the one. Like they don't feel like they need to look anymore. It's like they don't feel like they need to be out in the cold dating out there on Tinder or whatever, or out there and like going to different things, trying to meet people, trying to find someone, trying to get, love from someone. It's like they're just, I feel like they're done with that. Like they know what they want, and they want you. Oh, where is this connection heading? Where is this connection heading? Interesting. Four of Pentacles, holding on. Yeah, I feel like they don't want to lose you. They don't want to let go. They want to hold on to you. Like they're like, you're a keeper. What I'm hearing is like, you're a keeper, your treasure. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, love this for you, part number one. Move these up and we'll get some more tarot energy on is this going to lead to a commitment? Because we can definitely see that like they want to, I feel like they want to make a move towards you, but they're still kind of juggling some things, still trying to work out. Still trying to work out how to make it happen, I feel like, because of maybe work or distance or like cultural differences or something like that. So will this lead to committed union, please, Spirit? Nine of Pentacles. I feel like this is saying like the more you commit to yourself, because Nine of Pentacles is all about like finding that security and stability within, and finding that sense of like that kind of ultimate life and that ultimate lifestyle, and like everything that you kind of want to bring into crystallization, bring into manifestation in your world, kind of doing it for yourself, like kind of like not being dependent on anyone else to like give you things or support you in any way or whatever it might be. And I'm not saying like you are like that at the moment, and your person's not saying that, but I think the more you focus on your own journey and your own pleasure and your own, because even though like Nine of Pentacles is normally about like you know, it often depicts like sort of a very wealthy woman being, you know, like, and it's kind of like she's made that wealth for herself, or she's created that financial stability or that financial security for herself. But in this everyday witch tarot, it's a very sweet, like she's reading a book and she's drinking having a bottle of wine and some, I don't even know, what is that, chocolates it looks like on the plate, and you know, it just feels very, and she's like out in nature, and it's like it's kind of like giving me sort of holiday vibes, or like holiday in Europe, or like maybe this is like you're working towards being location independent or something, or like working towards being able to just like have more work-life balance so that you can have more time out for holidays. And so I feel like what's coming through is like, whilst this person is working on their career and mastering something in their career or something like that, it's important for you to focus on your own stability and your own pleasure and your own, like, the lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. That's somehow key, because the Nine of Pentacles comes before the Ten of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles is like, you know, that sort of the ultimate happy family who you know, they have everything, and they have like, you know, even grandchildren or whatever, and they've got a whole big house. It normally shows like, you know, the whole thing. It's kind of like all of the stability and security that comes with like, you know, a kind of family and a family legacy and everything. And that may not even be something that you want in the long term. And it you know, Ten of Pentacles will be different for everyone. It will show up differently for everyone. But like the point is before you get to creating that secure future with someone else, whether you end up having a family with them or not, or whether it's just, you know, you just want to have a sort of committed partnership, the two of you, for a while, before that beds in, it's like you've got to find that 100% fully within yourself first. And I feel like most of you are on that track, but some of you may be just starting to get there, or you're still in the process of getting there, and that's okay. Like, you know, it could be, you know, different timing for all of you, like depending on where you're at and how far down this process you are, and also how far this person is with, like, you know, their career goals and things, because it'll be different for all of you. They'll all have different sort of trajectory in terms of what they're focusing on. But I feel like what will even the balance out, so that they're not so over focused on their work, and they might start to feel more drawn towards like creating more time for you, or increasing a commitment to you, increasing devotion to you, is you giving yourself that like devotion and that commitment, and that like building starting to work towards like building that future for yourself, starting to work towards building the lifestyle for yourself. Will this connection lead to committed union? And we've got Six of Pentacles. We've got the green dress again, so more green, more heart chakra energy. Yeah, I feel like this is saying it's kind of echoing a little bit of what I was saying with the Nine of Pentacles around like giving to yourself what you want to see given to you, so that you're not coming to this connection with like a an energy of needing something from them. It's like you've built yourself up so much that you've come into such a stable place with your self-love, because she's wearing this green dress, so she's very like anchored in her own self-love, that it's like there's then an overflow that you can then give to others. So yeah, it's a lot of Pentacles energy coming through, a lot of Earth energy. So yeah, there's I definitely feel like there is this potential for this to be like this connection that at the moment I'm picking up is perhaps more happening on the spiritual realm, and maybe you haven't seen much movement on the 3D yet in the physical world. But I feel like with all these Earth cards coming through in terms of will it lead to committed union, it's like you can manifest this in the physical realm, like this can happen, but there's just some things around like finding that, anchoring that stability within first. Will this lead to committed? Interesting. 7 of Pentacles. Waiting. Yeah, being patient, essentially. I feel like this is kind of saying like the seeds have been planted, the tree is already there, it's just not ripened yet. It's like there's something that needs to mature. Possibly this person needs to mature a little bit. Maybe at the moment the energy they're coming to the connection with is a little bit too wandsy in the sense that there's a little bit much on the side of the like physical passion, and maybe they're not ready to kind of like commit emotionally or something like that. And so there might be a maturing that needs to go through. That might just be for some of you, that won't necessarily be for all of you. Or maybe for others of you it's like the connection needs to gestate is what I'm hearing. So it's like maybe you've met and there needed to be like an initial meeting, and maybe that was quite potent, or like it's kind of awakened a lot of like, you know, that psychic stuff, that sort of strong telepathic connection. And then you've meant to then like separate for a period of time, go about your own lives, like, you know, you doing this kind of 9 of Pentacles thing for a while, focusing on yourself, focusing on, you know, maybe you're writing a book, you're creating a business or something like that, creating stability for yourself, and like getting to a point where you can like fill yourself up, like feel completely abundant, and where you're not kind of seeking anything from anyone else or elsewhere. And so there's just this like a few things that need to kind of gestate before it can lead to union. It's like it's there, it's been planted. It's like the idea is already seeded in both of your hearts. I feel like it's like I said, this person knows you're a keeper, and they know they don't need to like look for anyone else anymore. So even if they're like with someone else or they're dating other people, it's like they're not actually even considering them in any serious way, because I don't really get the vibe that they are dating anyone else. I feel like more than anything, they're working. They focus on their work and their career. And if they are having anything, it's like not serious connections, put it that way. Like they want to kind of hold on to you is what I'm getting. We have some more energy. Will this lead to committed union? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel like that's a yes. The the description on the Everyday Witch in the book for King of Pentacles, for this King of Pentacles card, is like you can have your cake and eat it too, which I love, because it's like I just feel like you can. I feel like this is kind of saying like you can both have your independent lifestyles where you both may be very like kind of go-getters, or you both may have like a lot going on in your own individual lives anyway. And it's like you can have that and be in a sacred partnership. You know, it's like all about this balance. Like I was saying, like this person is kind of working out how to juggle that, how to like have their cake and eat it too, like how to be like, okay, well, I'm focusing on my work and I've got to really master this at the moment, or I've got to like put all my energy into my career, but I've found this person that is an absolute keeper that I want to hold on to. So, and then in the middle is this like, well, how do I juggle these two things? Like, how do I deal with this? And it's like that's got to be figured out, that balance. And I feel like it's a balance that's happening both within them and within you. So this may well look, I'm kind of definitely getting like sort of long distance vibes, and as I said with the globe, it could be that they either travel a lot for work or you're in different countries and you're trying to work out maybe how to connect, or you've met once in one country and then you've gone back to your home countries, and then you're both like, holy crap, like actually I think that person was the one, like, you know, this person I met on a trip or something, it's like actually I need to be with them, like I can't stop thinking about them or something. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm picking up from them, like they can't stop thinking about you, and but like they have to be back in their home country for work or something. But I feel like they want to invest in you. With King of Pentacles, this is all about like, you know, commitment, long term, you know, planting something that you want to water through to completion. You want to see it grow. You want to commit to it. You want to be there for the long haul, you know. It's you know, it's Pentacles, so it's stable, it's secure, it's reliable, it's dependable. So I feel like this person does have that energy. That's what they're coming through with. Let's get one more. Will this lead to committed union? Will this lead? Wow. Temperance, balance, yeah. Confirming what I was saying about with the Two of Pentacles, with the finding the balance. Temperance is all about balance. You know, we've got this like scene of all these cupcakes and yummy foods, and then the healthy food there as well. So it's like, I feel like the connection is something that will like balance the two of you out. It's like what I was picking up at the beginning with that dichotomy with the sort of spiritual realm and the earthly realm. There's something around like balancing, yeah, kind of the spiritual with the material, balancing like feminine and masculine, balancing like activity and receptivity and rest, balancing giving and taking, you know, because Six of Pentacles, again, Six of Pentacles is also a card about balance, coming into like a reciprocal energy of like an equal giving and taking, like a being able to give from a full place, you know, not feeling sort of like you need to beg for something kind of thing. There's something around that. So yeah, there's something around coming into balance, like coming into a balance within yourself, being very stable within your own energy, having a good healthy balance in your life, balancing your own masculine and feminine energy. It's like you're both kind of working on that theme, and I feel like this connection will be very balancing as well between the two of you. It's like it's meant to bring down those the spiritual down into the earthly realm. Let's finish up with some guidance cards. Finish with some guidance, please, Spirit. Woo. Okay. So we've got, my greatest experience of freedom comes when I let go of what others think of me. Yeah, so I feel like maybe if this is the guidance for you, this is kind of letting go what this person thinks or feels about you, like in letting go and not sort of not being so worried, or like not kind of being too impatient about it, or like constantly checking it, like, oh, is it ready yet? Like, are they coming? Like, are they gonna commit to me, or are they gonna show up for me? If you sort of let it go, like if you really detach and let go, then it, like, if you let them go and they come back, they're yours kind of thing. It's like you have to let something go that you like, that you love, really. And we've got, when I see, I'm going to scribble on that card. When I see good in others, I acknowledge it out loud. So maybe this is kind of, if you have felt a little bit like maybe there's been an energy of like something about acknowledgement or communication. Maybe acknowledging to them like where, the good side, because maybe especially if it is a long distance thing, or maybe there's been issues around communication or something, there's been a bit of a like negative energy. I'm just seeing with all this black around the outside, it's like there might have been some feelings of like negativity or fear is what I'm getting. So maybe like verbalizing out loud, acknowledging out loud like the good that you see in this person. I get one more. Any more guidance for pile 1? My power lies in my peaceful presence. Yes, this is this, you guys. Like this Nine of Pentacles. Look how peaceful she is. She's just doing a thing. Like she's got a little cat sleeping above her head, or by her head, and she's just like chill and just very peaceful and just being present in the moment. So that is going to help with coming into union, or like balancing out this connection, or getting a more sort of reciprocal energy going in the connection. If you haven't seen much action or movement or commitment from this person, it's like being in your own energy, being very peaceful, letting it go, acknowledging the good of this person rather than saying like, oh, they're not showing up and they're not committing and they're not doing this, and blah, 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 sort of like looking at the kind of like coming at it from a fear perspective, and just like detaching and knowing that you are good on your own. Like it's kind of like almost so, it's like liberating yourself by being so confident and comfortable in your own skin that you're just like, this person can't not be with me. Like, I'm such a keeper. Like I'm treasure. Like, yeah, that they're compelled to be with me because you're compelled to be with you. It's like this person is very happy in their own company. They're very happy in their own presence. They're very secure and stable in their own presence. So if you don't necessarily feel, some of you are in this stage, in which case like this connection is going to lead to commitment possibly a lot quicker, depending on your individual circumstances, of course, but the energy is the right energy to be in. But if you're not, if you know you're not fully there, if you're in more of an energy of like needing something from them, or feeling fearful that they're not going to come through or something like that, or worrying about it, it's like, yeah, if you're not peaceful in your own energy, that's going to be something that's going to kind of like slow it down. It's not like you can't have it, because it's not like what is meant for you can't miss you, but it's like it will significantly slow it down and you'll lose your power. Because as I talked about with that balance card, it's like, part of the importance of this connection is like coming into a balance within. Like I think I spoke about, I don't know which card I was talking about, but there was something around like I was saying about like each of you having your own individual lives, and you each have your own things that you're really focused on, but you also can come together. And that is very much the energy of Parvati, because Parvati, in her connection with her divine consort Shiva, she had done that yogic work. And it's interesting she's doing yoga here because Parvati is a goddess of yoga, and we've got someone actually physically practicing yoga here. So yoga could be very good to help you come into a calm state if you're stressed about this situation or worried about it, to help you like get your power back, find your peace, become more stable and secure within your own energy. Because Parvati, before she joined with Shiva, Shiva was like not interested in her. He was doing his thing out meditating in the cosmos. And she was like, right, okay, fine. Like he's not interested. I'm just going to focus my energy 100% on my spiritual development, on my yoga. I'm just going to do yoga. And yoga is all about yoking mind, body, and soul. So she really focused her energy inward on herself. She stood, actually, I think she stood in a position like this for like 1,000 years or something. You know, this is goddess time we're talking about, so that could be like an hour in human time. I don't know, but like, you know, this is cosmic time we're talking about, totally different to like 3D Earth time. But she did it for a really long period, and her commitment to doing that, it ended up like creating such a like aura of peace and like magnetism around her that then Shiva kind of suddenly comes to his awareness one day, and he's like, huh, that Parvati goddess, where's she at? And he goes over to her, and she's practicing a yoga, and he decides to trick her and like pretend that he tries to like he pretends he's another god, like he disguises himself, and he's like, oh, you know, like, why don't you go with this other god like Vishnu or something, you know, why don't you go with him, like Shiva's not any good for you, he's a down and out like god of the goblins or whatever. And she's like, no, get out, like that's not true, you can't say anything bad about my Shiva, I know that we are meant to be together. And I think the reason I'm going into this really long story is because it's like, you've got to have that same peaceful knowing, that same peaceful presence, that same confidence in yourself, and focus on yourself and focus on your own spiritual development, finding balance within first, and just knowing that this is like solid, that this connection will come through, that it will eventuate. And in your commitment to yourself, and in your commitment to your presence, and in your commitment to your spiritual development, and your sense of like rooting that into the earth, because we've got so many Pentacles cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 Pentacles cards. Excuse me. So there's a lot of earth energy. There's a lot of like, this is being crystallized on the actual earth plane. This is not all air cards or like, you know, all wands cards, where these are sort of more conceptual things or thoughts or ideas or just passions or spiritual concepts. No, this is physical. This is happening on the physical earth plane. But there's just something around like needing to like, ground into your own presence essentially, and ground into the knowledge and the knowing, the inner knowing that this will come out, this will pan out, that like you're but you're good on your own anyway. It's kind of like your vibration has got to be like, I'm so good on my own, I'm so good in my own company that it literally doesn't matter if this person comes to me or not. And that will be the minute that you are in that vibration, trust me, that will be when they're like, oh, and like all their focus on their work will suddenly open up, and they'll be like, oh, actually, I want my consort. That will be the moment when Shiva's like, oh, this Parvati goddess, like, trust me, it will happen. I'm going to leave your reading there. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below if this resonated for you. I so would love to hear from you if you feel comfortable sharing. I would love to hear if it resonated. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell me what content is resonating for you guys at the moment. And thank you so much to those of you who have been commenting and liking and subscribing recently. I am so happy to have you as members in the Owl's Temple community. I also have a Patreon where I go into more in-depth goddess readings. I've just started it, so there's only a couple of videos up there at the moment, but there's going to be a lot more content uploaded over the coming month. So I will leave the link in the description box below for that if you're interested in checking out further, more in-depth readings. I've got 3 different tiers with 3 different kinds of readings, so check that out. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you are new to my channel and you would like to see more readings. I would so love to have you part of the community. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. All the best with your journey towards your union. All my love, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi there, Pile 2. If you chose this Lover's card with the Phantom Wise Tarot, then this will be the portion of the reading where I pre-pull all your cards. So if you want to skip straight to the messages, then just have a look at the timestamp in the box below, and you can choose the next timestamp along. So let's have a look at the astrology get some astrology energy for how-to's person. They have, whoa, it's fallen on the floor. Okay. And let's have a look at qualities this person has. Spirit, qualities this person has. Qualities how-to's person has. Qualities how-to's person has. Okay. How do you feel about how-to? What energy they bring to how-to? Energy they bring. Energy they bring. Oops, falling off again. Energy they bring. Energy this how-to person bring. Okay. And what qualities they bring to the dynamic? What they bring to the dynamic? How-to's person bring to the dynamic? What how-to's person bring to the dynamic? Okay. Okay, alrighty, let's move into, oopsie, let's move into your reading. Hi there, Pile 2. If you chose the Lover's card from the Phantom Wise Tarot, this will be your reading. We have your cards now, so this will be the messages portion. So before I get into the cards, I'm just going to bring through some messages that have come through, that are coming through from this particular Lover's card. When I tune into both of your energies and the energy of your connection, your dynamic, I'm getting this very beautiful ethereal vibe. I feel like your connection is very peaceful and harmonious and very sweet and very gentle. But I feel like there's a sense of almost like fantasy or cloudy, like being up in the clouds, like a sense of like maybe you don't know this person very well yet, and you might have like created a sort of, or built up a kind of a, like a castle in the clouds is what I'm hearing, like a fantasy world in the clouds about what this connection could be like, or what it might be like to be in a committed partnership with this person or something. And now that's not to say that you can't manifest that, or that that's not, that can't be, or that your fantasy is not something that can come into reality, because it certainly can. And we'll get into that in a bit more detail when we take a look at your tarot cards. But I'm just getting this energy that it's not, or at least where you're at so far, the connection is not very grounded in the 3D. So that just may mean that this is very new, or this is just somewhat of a spiritual connection. It's somewhat of a, like, your souls are somewhat connected in a way, but it hasn't translated down yet into the 3D, in the sense that you haven't maybe even gone on a date with this person, or maybe you only known them very briefly or something like that. Is kind of the vibe I'm getting. There's something around, yeah, it being like up in the air, like things being a bit up in the air, or things being a bit cloudy. And so maybe that's why you're drawn to this reading, is like it feels like you both are looking out in the same direction. You're both looking, it's like you both have shared values, or you're both looking to the future in the same way. You're both, yeah, your outlook, your approach is in the same direction. However, you're wanting to maybe see if this is the right connection for you in some way, or if it is going to lead to some kind of commitment, because it feels a little bit up in the air. So maybe this person has like left you hanging or something. Like maybe you've had a brilliant first connection, or a brilliant first date, or a brilliant first meeting or something, and it feels like there's a lot of promise, and maybe you've shared a lot of ideas that feels like, oh, like wow, like we've got so much in common, or our view of the world is so similar, or we both look at the world in the same way. But maybe there's just, yeah, it's like you might have then been left a little bit hanging, or like you're then, things are a wee bit up in the air between the two of you. So that's just what I'm picking up straight off the bat. But let's have a look at your person's energy. Actually, I'm going to put this down here, move Parvati up a wee bit. We'll get into some more cards here to look at your person. So for the astrology for your person, we've got Psyche, Asteroid Psyche, and 11th house, both really beautiful. So Psyche rules like psychic awareness and sensitivity and empathy. So I feel like, yeah, I did pick up a very gentle vibe from your person, or from the two of you. There's like a very sweet, it feels like a very, yeah, sweet and gentle connection. So I feel like there's a very, again, actually, it's interesting. I got this with pile one, a kind of a psychic connection. There's a psychic awareness there. So even if this person hasn't come through on the 3D in the physical realm to kind of like communicate anything, I feel like psychically they're very aware of you. With 11th house being here as like highlighted as a prominent astrological thing, they could have a lot of placements in their 11th house. And this is a house of like friendships and social interactions, and but it's also about like the rebel and being a bit unconventional. It's ruled by Uranus, and so it's often to do with like kind of breaking down normal social conventions or doing things in a slightly different way. So maybe some of their friendships or connections are a little bit like different, or this person is a little bit different, or a little bit like unusual in how they relate or something. You know, I'm kind of getting they are quite quirky with this card. It's like this person's wearing like a top hat, and like this person's wearing like stripy leggings, and it's like quite eccentric. So they could dress in a certain way that's a little bit eccentric, or like just be quite like original, bit different, a bit unique, a bit unconventional maybe. Yeah, that's kind of the initial astrology. So let's get a few other, let's look into all your other cards now to see their energy. So we've got discernment is coming through, and influence. Yeah, so they could have a lot of influence over their like friendship group or over their social circle in some way. The energy that they are showing up with in the connection is card number 32 with vitality and wholeness. Card number 33. Interesting. And then we got 4 quality cards of what they're bringing to the dynamic. So we've got quarrelsome, card number 10. Put that over here. We've got untamable. Interesting. We've got empowered, and we've got determined. Okay. So give me a second. I'm going to lay all these out and make sure they're all in shot. Okay, hopefully that's all in shot now. So pile number 2. I'm getting this energy from your person that is a little bit split, to be honest, between kind of some very light aspects and some somewhat shadow aspects. So let's start with the light aspects over here, and what is looking very positive about what they're bringing to the dynamic, or aspects of their character. So I feel like your person is very or what they bring to the connection. Let's start down here. What they bring to the connection is a sense of self-empowerment. I feel like they are very centered in knowing who they are and loving themselves, and it's like this influence is something that they can then pass down to others, or pass on to others. So I feel like they can it's like they know their true north, and they are very determined to go down a certain path. They have a lot of vitality to like go after what they want, to go after what they love, to go after what they enjoy or they find pleasure in. Because Psyche psyche is a lot to do with like feelings and what you find beautiful and like where your feelings are drawing you towards. Um, and we've also got the sign of Taurus here as well. So, and Taurus is a lot to do with like sensual pleasure and, um, yeah, delving into that, like, into sensual pleasures and enjoying sensual pleasures. And we've got this like ripe fig here, this juicy fig. So I feel like this person has a lot of sway or influence around like the things that they like, which in it in a in itself, in and of itself, in its light side, is a good thing. They know themselves very well. They're very anchored in like a sense of self-love and a sense of like their own true north. They know what they love and they enjoy. They know what they find pleasure in, and they're very determined to go after what they want. In with someone whose energy is very sort of charismatic in that way, or very influential in that way, especially with that 11th house showing up, it's like they have a strong sway or a strong influence over their social circle, over their friendships, or over their group, over their wider circle. It could even be that they have some sort of strong influence online, or something like that, or just in their wider community. They could just be seen to be very charismatic, or just have a lot of friends around them. They have a lot of like strong vital life force. There's a lot of red energy here, which is linked with the root chakra and that like kundalini energy that starts in the root chakra. So I feel like they're very yeah, it's that kind of Taurus earth sign. They could be a Taurus or have Taurus somewhere strong in their chart, but it's that very like earthy central energy, but like very yeah, they just have a lot of vitality. And like I said, in and of itself, wonderful. This is a wonderful quality to have, having that kind of influence, being very determined, knowing how to go after what you want, or what brings you that joy, what brings you pleasure, what brings you passion, what gives you life force, what increases your life force, what makes you excited. And I feel like one of the good things that they could bring to this connection is, or what they bring to the dynamic, is helping others feel more empowered. Anyone that they're around, anyone in their social sphere, in their sphere of influence, they help them to feel more empowered. So that could be something that if you are aligned to come into union with them, if this is meant to be, and we'll go into that in more detail when we look at the tarot, but that this could be a connection that, whether it is for a short time or for a long time, a long-term partnership, it could help you to in some way feel more determined about going after what it is that brings you vitality, going after what it is that you feel really drawn towards, going after what it is that makes you feel empowered, or their energy makes you feel empowered to go after what you want. With these cards over here, untamable, quarrelsome, wholeness, and discernment, I'm getting the vibe that possibly for some of you right now, this person really isn't in an energy of commitment, or what's sort of on the shadow side of this vitality energy, this being very drawn to sort of going after things that bring them pleasure or whatever. Maybe having a lot of friends. Maybe they're just really focused on their friends at the moment, or widening their social circle on sort of lots of different connections in that way. And I feel like there's something around like they want to be quite wild. There's a lot of like dragon energy here, both orange, which is linked with the sacral chakra, which is all to do with like that spark for life, that zest for life, that like creative passion, that sexual passion, that sensual passion, which we've kind of talked about a little bit with the vitality and the Taurus energy. So I feel like there's a sort of a lot of fiery sacral chakra energy over here, where they're wanting to be wild and free, essentially, or wanting to be not tamed, wanting to be not domesticated, wanting to be not yeah, not essentially not committed, I guess. But, we will look into that in a little bit more detail with the tarot, but this is just what's coming up from their energy at the moment. Now, this is not to say that they can't change their mind or they can't balance out this shadow, and they, there aren't good qualities that they're going to bring to the connection, or that they can't maybe over time, over a period of time, tame themselves a little bit, or like kind of rein this in, or like come into a state of wholeness. But I feel like I'm seeing here with this black mulberry plant rather, that there's these like small not fully formed, very light colored mulberries, and it's almost like I'm getting this energy of like this person is still coming into their wholeness. They're still not like fully ripe yet. They're still kind of exploring things. Like with that 11th house energy, it's almost like this person could be quite young, or just quite young. I'm kind of picking up quite a young vibe from their energy. Like they're just more wanting to like be around their friends, and like they're very influenced by their friends, or they influence their friends a lot. So there's a lot around, like, like as you get older in time, like it tends to be that your friendship groups, or your friends, especially childhood friends or friends from young adulthood, they will have less of a influence over you, or it's like you as you individuate and you go off and become an adult and you learn things that you like, you don't necessarily stay friends with just that group of friends that you had, like, from childhood or something, or from your roots. But there's something around kind of a sort of a youngish energy where this person is still maybe very influenced by their friends, or very like focused on just friendship groups or something like that, being, like finding where they belong, finding, maybe they were a bit of a black sheep growing up, especially, with that sort of eccentric energy I got. So maybe they're still trying to figure out where they fit in, where, all those sort of 11th house themes, where they belong, where their reign of influence is. And so I feel like that's why there's this untamable energy coming through. As well with this quarrelsome energy, this is the sort of energy they would bring to the dynamic between the two of you. So if you've been in somewhat of a connection with this person, you may have already noticed that they may be a little bit quarrelsome or something, or this may not have even come up yet, but it may be something that if you, say, try to manifest or wrangle somewhat of a commitment with them before they're fully ready, and before they're kind of fully ripe, and like, in a state where they can commit to you and offer you that devotion like we spoke about in the introduction. It may be that it leads to a lot of like arguments, and like I'm hearing stonewalling, and in 3 of these cards this person has their eyes closed. So it's like they can't really see you yet. They can't really see you for your beauty. They can't really be fully devoted to you. It's like they're kind of still devoted to themselves. It's like, with this person like holding this little dove, it's like their energy is turned inward. And so that's why I feel like this discernment card has come out. It's interesting. There's a heart on this card with an eye in the middle, and the eye is open, unlike the eyes on these 3 figures here where they're closed. And this figure up here, the eyes are closed as well. So I feel like this is not their energy. This is coming through as like a guidance for you, to be discerning about this person and about their energy and where they're at, to be very discerning and keep your eyes open, like not just feel from the heart, but have like one eye open within your heart to really like see this connection very clearly, and where this person is truly at. Because I really feel like ultimately in a reading about, is this person like, will this lead to a committed partnership? with the card Untamable, I feel like there's this sort of wild energy coming from this person at the moment. And even though they may well have feelings for you, and even though they may well have a lot of sort of sensitivity towards you or see you as very beautiful, and like I said, there may well be, if once they've sort of matured perhaps, or if you do come into a connection, there's certainly very many beautiful things that they bring to it, like I said, about feeling empowered and bringing a sense of vitality. But I just feel like there's a sort of a, perhaps a side to them that you're not necessarily fully aware of. You're not seeing the whole picture is what I'm getting with that wholeness. And so, yeah, there's this guidance about being very discerning, keeping one eye open in your heart center. You know, it's not to say like you need to cut it off yet. We'll get into a bit more detail with the tarot, but it's not to say like, you know, it's not worth it or necessarily. It's just like keep your eyes open, like be discerning, be aware that they are in this, they are showing up in this untamable energy at the moment. Having said all of that, Shiva, who is Parvati's consort, was the ultimate untamable god. So in some ways, your person is showing up as Shiva does at the beginning when Parvati meets him, and Shiva was like, didn't want anything to do with Parvati when, you know, they first meet. He was grieving his previous divine counterpart Sati had had a tragic death, and he was just off in the cosmos, just meditating, kind of nonstop, like just being alone, being this like lone wolf, and you know, he was sort of like the wild boy of of the gods, of the Hindu gods, and it was kind of like no goddess could tame him or domesticate him or bring him into union, because he was just like this kind of like the god of the goblins and very unconventional. So actually very 11th house energy, really. And I've just noticed as well, we've got the symbol of Aquarius here. So your person could well be Aquarius, or have strong Aquarius placement or something. But yeah, so Shiva kind of didn't really want anything to do with her. And Parvati didn't want to take no for an answer, but she respected that, like, you know, he was like not interested. So she was like, right, okay, well, the way to get this person who is just off meditating all the time is the way they're going to notice me, or the way, it's not so much the way that they're going to notice me, but the way they will realize my importance in their life is by me focusing on my own spiritual development and my own yoga, which is like, yoga means to yoke mind, body, and soul. So she literally does the practice of yoga like for thousands of hours. This is goddess time we're talking about, so in human time I don't know how long that is, but you know, she does so much like self-devotional work or self-development work, or like, you know, she does that transformative work of like, you know, through like Kundalini yoga, kind of like, you know, burning away anything that's blocking her, and like, you know, increasing her sense of power, increasing her sense of you know, spiritual strength, you know, her sense of spiritual willpower. You know, she stands for like something like thousands of hours or something in a sacred grove, and just, you know, in a state of like surrender and prayer, not a state of attachment, not like, oh, I've got to do this in order so that. It's just a state of like, right, okay, my focus is going to be on me now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to devote to my spiritual practice. I'm going to devote to something higher than myself. I'm going to devote to my own sense of beloved within, my sense of beloved with my own soul. And in doing that, she attracted Shiva to her. One day he woke up and he comes over, and then yeah, the rest is history. There's a whole other story to that. You can look it up if you're interested. But the point is, I feel like, you know, the fact that this person, they're showing up as untamable now, doesn't mean that they always will be. It just means that that's the kind of slightly wild energy that they're bringing to the table at the moment, or that they would be bringing to the table if you were to try and, you know, get them to kind of come into union immediately, or get them to kind of notice you more. Because I feel like with all these eyes closed, it's like there's something that they're not really being it's like, what's the word, like being very forthcoming with. So yeah, let's have a look at the tarot. I'm going to actually, for your pile, move your cards out of the way because it's a bit distracting having them underneath before. So let's put those down there and let's have a look at the tarot to see where is this connection heading, please, Spirit? Where is this connection? Whoa, the Queen of Cups. Beautiful. That's a good card to get straight off the bat. So yeah, a sense of like when you're able to come into a sense of like inner fulfillment and self-love and just being like very emotionally stable within yourself. It's like you've done that yogic work, like Parvati, you've done the deep diving, you've worked through things you've had to work through, you've worked through all your own emotional baggage or your own emotional stuff, you've understood like your emotional waters, and you know how to find emotional fulfillment and happiness from within. It's like you've mastered that. You're a sovereign of that. You're a queen of that. You're a queen of handling your emotional side, your emotional self. You know, that is the energy that you need to be in for this to lead to something more. So where is this connection heading, please, Spirit? Where is this connection heading? Oh my goodness. Let's put those back. Take the ones on the table. There's a lot of energy. Okay. Right, so we've got 9 of Wands. It feels like it could nearly be there. We've got Justice. We've got the Star. Beautiful. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. And we've got the Hermit. Interesting cards. Wow. Whew. My goodness. Okay. So I feel like pile 2, I feel like this connection, or at least, yeah, this connection at least is very destined, or you were destined to meet this person with the Star there. It's like there's some reason the two of you had to connect, whether it's because you're going to be in a committed partnership. I'm not sure. We'll get into a bit more detail in a moment. I'll pull some more tarot on if it's going to lead to a committed union. But right now, it feels like you were definitely destined to meet. And it feels like it's like you feel like, or the energy you're coming through and is like you're nearly there with something. It's like the last push or the last, it's like maybe for some of you, you've been in this connection for a while and it's like, I just like, why won't they just commit that little bit, that next step? It's like maybe you've been dating for quite a long time, or you've been, say, like boyfriend, girlfriend for a long time or something like that, a certain label, but like it's just not quite that final stage. It's not quite that like 10 of Wands or 10 of Pentacles or that the 10. It's not the completion. It's like the 9. You're still kind of at the stage where you're trying to manifest is what I'm getting. Trying to manifest this into being. And it's like you're just taking a moment to pause and reset and be like, actually, is this really going to come about? Is all this investment, this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wands, like this 9, you know, maybe it's like 9 months of investing or 9 years of investing in this person, or, you know, so much time thinking about this person or fantasizing about it, you know, is it going to get there? Is it going to lead to something? And with the Justice here, I feel like this could be a couple of things. I'm getting the like some kind of scales balancing. There needs to be a rebalancing of something, a rebalancing out of energies. But it could also be talking about marriage, because sometimes justice can be about, you know, like a contract, like a legal contract or signing a contract. So it's like maybe this is saying like you are nearly there. You're nearly at the final stages of getting to that point of like this being like a sure deal, or this being like a commitment, or, you know, actually signing a contract in some way. actually formalizing it. It feels like maybe you have had some kind of connection, some kind of possibly even a relationship, but it's like not fully formalized. And so there's this thing of like, maybe you want to say move in together, and it's like that hasn't happened. So it's like there's this waiting for that final stage of like being able to sign some kind of contract or formalize it in some way. But it does feel like that's very destined. And it feels like with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like that could very well be something that like fate, or the Wheel of Fortune is like the wheel of fate, could just turn at any moment, and what's gone down must come up, or what's gone up must come down. It's like, the seasons, as the seasons turn, things change. So if there's been a period of things being very stagnant or very like nothing has been moving, suddenly this wheel could start to move, and that final like wand could come into place, or that final thing could just click into place, and this could lead to a change in fortune in some way, a positive change in fortune in some way. But I feel like with the Hermit here, this is about going within to find your own like direction, or find your own, seek your own internal guidance, trust your own internal wisdom, trust what's coming through from within. And I feel like there's something that like, it's like you need to kind of disconnect from this person a little bit for a minute, just to like go into a bit of a hermit stage, isolate yourself, be alone for a bit, sit with yourself, do meditation or journaling or contemplation, or whatever it is that you need to do to really go within and to find that like light within, and see what your inner guidance is really telling you about this situation and this person. It's coming back to what I was saying about where was it, with the discernment, with the heart and the eye wide open. It's like keeping that eye open by doing that hermiting thing. And this is Parvati. It's interesting. Look, Parvati's got her hands together in prayer, and this person does as well. So it's like doing that spiritual work, doing that like self-devotion, going within and doing that journey, alone, like going on that spiritual path yourself, and finding that guidance, that wisdom from within. That will be what will allow this situation to kind of move, whether it needs to move on in towards like a commitment, some kind of contract, or whether the wheel is going to turn to the point that like this person needs to move out of your life, so that the right person can come in, so that it creates a space so that the right person can come in, so that you can let go of the struggle, let go of the fight to kind of make something happen. It's like, maybe if that's not meant to happen, maybe that's not meant to be what this connection was about. Maybe this was a very spiritual connection, that this person was meant to come into your life in order to help you feel more empowered to go towards your true north. And your true north may not necessarily be with this person, it may be with someone else. But maybe they just had to come in to help you find some sense of empowerment, or find some sense of like self-determination or something. But really, in terms of like, you're not necessarily, or at least maybe not at this time, meant to be in a committed partnership together. Because if you did right now, it would lead to being, where was the card? Yeah, it would lead to you would become quarrelsome with each other. It would lead to a lot of fighting or issues. Because in this Lovers card, it talks about, in the guidebook actually for this particular deck, it talks about I'm gonna get it actually. It says possibly a time for making choices to determine needs and desires, and whether or not a relationship suits those needs and desires. So I feel like that's what you're doing as part of this Queen of Cups. You're coming into this state of being very responsive to your own emotional needs, listening to your own emotional needs, listening to what you need to fulfill yourself, listening to what you need in a relationship, and figuring out whether this relationship is definitely going to be able to fulfill that. Is this struggle worth it? You know, Nine of Wands is like, you know, you've maybe been sort of putting a lot of energy into something, or putting a lot of energy into manifesting something, growing something, making something move, and then it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I just need a bit of time out. I need to just be alone for a minute. So maybe some of you are like on a break from this person right now, or you're not in communication with this person right now, or you're just taking some time out or something, because you're just taking a moment to be like, is all this investment that I've put into this, is it really fulfilling me? Is it going to lead to the commitment that I really want? Because I feel like there's some kind of illumination that needs to happen through going within and like going into this hermit state and being alone. So if for some reason you are like, you're in separation at the moment or whatever it might be, it's like that's for a reason. It's like you are meant to go within right now. You are meant to be alone right now. It's interesting in like, if we don't take the selection card, which I manually pulled at the beginning, if we look at all these cards, the Wheel of Fortune is just a like spiral, but all of these cards are just single figure cards. There's just one person. And asking about a relationship and where it's heading, there's no cards that show two figures. It's all just one person. So I feel like it's like you've got to be alone to figure this out. You've got to take some time out to figure this out. You've got to go within to really do that work. Whoops, I'm just throwing all the cards on the ground. To do that work of discerning whether this is the right relationship that really is going to fulfill your wants and needs. Because it may be that, you know, you might adore this person or you might have really strong feelings for them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the right person to be with. Like I said, it may have been a very destined connection. You may have been still meant to have met this person or had some kind of connection with this person, but maybe it's just not right for you to be in a committed partnership because there's those certain issues. There's certain growth that needs to be done alone. And that's not to say that, like I said, with this Shiva and Parvati story, maybe you're meant to be separated right now so you can come into wholeness, so you can do that yogic work of yoking mind, body, and soul, so that you can both do that work individually, because like I said, these figures are all alone. And then that will, by doing that, like as happened with Parvati's story, that will turn the wheel so that you can then come together. Let's get a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more energy. Whoops, put the others back down there. Put that over there. Is this connection going to lead to committed union? And we've got 9 of Pentacles. Interesting. And 10 of Pentacles. Did that one come flying out? 9 of Swords. Will this lead to committed union? Will this lead... Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups and the 6 of Swords. Interesting. So I feel like with the 9 of Pentacles, this is kind of similar to this Queen of Cups card, where you're coming into this state of being very self-fulfilled, of being very happy on your own, working out what emotionally fulfills you. But in the case of 9 of Pentacles, this is like being very independent and being very secure and stable within yourself, being very grounded, being, you know, able to rely on yourself, able to depend on yourself, able to like create that sense of that foundation of like stability and security within, whether that's like financially, whether that's just more you know, in terms of just like getting all your ducks in a row, like getting everything within your life kind of sorted out, like feeling more confident and good about yourself, you know, getting to a point where you're really stable within your own energy. That will lead to a 10 of Pentacles. It's interesting, we've got a castle here, and I was speaking about with the Lovers card at the beginning how I got a sort of castle in the clouds vibe, I think I mentioned. I hope I mentioned that. I might be making them up. I'm sure I said something about there being a sort of a cloudiness to this connection, or something being up in the air, a sort of castle up in the air. And I feel like you coming into this Queen of Cups and Nine of Pentacles energy will be what helps to actually ground that like fairy tale fantasy that you have about this person into the physical reality, into the physical planes. But being in this Nine of Swords energy, is like, is leading to this person treating you as an option rather than as the only choice. And also you may be wondering whether they are like the right choice. You may be like confused about maybe other options, like maybe this person isn't right, maybe I don't want a commitment with this person, maybe this investment isn't really worth it. But I feel like with the Six of Swords, like things can move to a better place in this connection eventually, but it is a lot down to you and your connection with yourself and going within and taking some time out. You know, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of independent energy here. There's a lot of just individuals being on their own. We've got the Hermit card, literally speaking of being a hermit. We are just going into Virgo season. We've just gone into Virgo season. So if you're watching this at the time of upload, that's very like a good energy to work with going into hermit mode. You know, it's a good energy to work with going within, you know, getting very clear about your thoughts and like being discerning. You can really use that energy if you're watching this at the time of upload. But yeah, there's something around needing to kind of become more independent, more secure and stable within yourself before you can like bring that castle down into the physical realm. Let's get one more. One card to finish. Will this lead to committed union? I've got two. The Page of Wands and the Four of Cups. Yeah, I feel like with the page, again, this is coming through as like kind of slightly immature energy or young energy or like not fully sovereign energy. So this could be this person's energy at the moment in terms of the possibility of a committed partnership. Right now it's like they're just in this Page of Wands energy of like kind of in all honesty, I'm getting play it vibes. Like it's just there's sort of an attraction there, but not really an energy of commitment. And the Four of Cups is like there's this, yeah, I feel like this is like where you've maybe been investing all your emotional energy into this situation. It's like you've drunk from these three cups here. Like you've tried multiple times to get this person to commit or to see where the situation is going to go, or to whatever it might be. And it's like you've gotten a bit drained, and you've gone, and it's interesting, this person's sitting by this tree as they are with the hermit, but this is night and this is day. And I feel like after going within and really listening to yourself and being like, actually, was that investment really worth it? Or is this thing that I'm investing in really going to devote to me? It's like, maybe you'll realize that, like, it's better for you to move on from that situation. Because there's this new beginning coming through with this single cup that's on the top of the tree. It's like this person can't see that spirit is trying to offer you something else. Spirit is trying to offer you a more fulfilling cup. And I'm just being drawn to this woman holding this cup here. And it's like, once you're able to be in this energy of like offering yourself that self-love, and like doing that work of finding yourself and being fully committed to yourself and showing yourself the love that you want to get from someone else, then this cup will come in. But it's like, you can't see that right now. You can't notice that right now. You're just kind of like, this didn't work out, or like, why didn't it go anywhere, or whatever. It's like a sort of a sense of like disillusionment with love or something, or with connections. But it's like, there is something that's coming in, whether it's a whole new opportunity for this connection to kind of work out, or whether it's a whole new relationship. My feeling is it's a different connection. Like, you've tried to make this work with this person, and it's like, actually there's a much more, there's a much more like elevated connection coming in. You know, this is down on the ground. This is like up in the air, you know, it's up in the sky, up in the tree, on the branch of the tree. It's like very elevated, but it's like it's above you right now. So it's like being organized, it's being manifested up in spirit, and it's like in the 5D realm, and it's like you can't see it yet because it's not here yet. And also maybe because you need to like let go of this burden, like, and kind of come into a state of being very like anchored in your self-love, with Nine of Pentacles and Queen of Cups. Yeah, I feel like that's what this Wheel of Fortune is talking about. It's like, and you'll realize that, I feel like, when you really go within, that like the wheel is going to turn to like, let this situation that's been causing you anxiety and sleepless nights and stress and confusion, because this person's been kind of showing up in that page energy or that immature energy. It's like you're gonna let that go, which is going to create space, and the wheel's going to turn so that this new option can come in. So let's finish up with a some guidance from Gabrielle Bernstein cards. We've got, I trust that my intuition is always leading me in the right direction. Yeah, this is the Hermit, going within, listening to your intuition, trusting that it's going to guide you to the right person, you know, the right situation. Ooh, I can expend time when I'm inspired. Yeah, I feel like maybe for some of you, you've been worried about, like, maybe with that Nine of Wands, it's like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much time or energy into this connection, and like it's kind of like that sunk cost fallacy or whatever it's called, where it's like, oh well, like I should carry on because I've invested so much time in it now, or I've invested so much money in it now, or something. And it's like, I feel like when you're feeling more inspired, when you have more energy, when you've moved to a better place within yourself, mentally and emotionally, and like in your life, like time will just expand, and the right things that are meant for you will come to you in divine timing, is what I'm getting from that. We have one more card to finish. Oh, we've got a whole bunch. We've got, I seek out happy people who inspire me to be great. Taking care of myself is a radical act of love. Yeah, Queen of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. Anchoring in that self-love. That is a radical act of love. That is that Parvati act of devotion towards yourself. And by doing that and really focusing on that, that will allow either this person to kind of like change how they show up for you and not show up in that player energy or that sort of like non-committed energy. and be more devoted, or it will allow, you know, that to fall away and the right person to come in. And my genuine desire to serve clears the path for me to step into my purpose. Yeah, so there is something around, like, you know, this connection maybe being something that has had to come in. It was destined to come in to wake you up to your purpose, I feel like. And being in a state of wanting to serve others will help you step into that more fully. And it's interesting, we've got that star there, which, where was the card? We had it on, there it was, with empowered, the same star. Yeah, this person had to come into your life in some way to help connect you with your purpose, to help connect you with feeling empowered. So maybe this person was a bit of a guide or a coach for you or something, or they helped you in some way, or you had many discussions around your purpose, or they helped you feel more empowered. Or just by virtue of meeting them, there was some kind of spiritual, mystical reason you had to meet them that helped, for some reason, activate you to being more empowered to step into your purpose more fully once you kind of let go of this like Nine of Swords energy. Okay, my loves, that is all the guidance that I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps tell me what content is resonating for you at the moment. Leave a comment below if it resonated for you. I would really love to hear from you. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to be part of the Elves Temple community, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. It's been wonderful tuning into your energy. You have very powerful energy, pile 2, and a very strong purpose in your life. So just trust your intuition. All the best for your journey towards union, whether it is with this person or with that new cup that might be coming in for you. All the best, and I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi, beautiful souls of pile number 3. If you chose the love card from the Goddess Tarot, this will be your reading. Now, this is the portion where I'm going to be pre-shuffling or shuffling and pulling your card. So if you want to skip straight through to the messages, there should be another timestamp in the description box below. So Spirit, can we have some astrology energy? Can we have some astrology energy for pile 3's person? Okay. Pathways person, their qualities. Pathways person's qualities. Yep. Pathways person's. Okay. And qualities that path 3's person brings to the dynamic. What they bring to the dynamic. What does path 3's person bring to the dynamic? Okay. Alrighty. Okay. I will see you in the reading portion. Hi, number 3, pile number 3, if you chose the Love Venus card, this is the reading portion of the reading. So straight off the bat for you, pile number 3, I get the vibe that you're on a very beautiful self-love journey at the moment. To be honest, I'm not picking up a super strong vibe right now of someone else's energy in your field. We'll go into a little bit more detail when we look at the tarot, but right now you're in a really beautiful vibrational space to attract someone who is devoted to you and worthy of being in a committed partnership. And we may take a look if there's maybe a few options that you're potentially considering, but I don't kind of get the impression that you're already in any kind of connection with someone. Maybe you've met a few people, or you're sort of in the dating pull kind of thing, so to speak, but I don't kind of get a vibe of like one particular person. I feel like maybe you're considering your options. You're in this very beautiful Venusian energy of just really focusing on yourself and your self-love, showing yourself a lot of like romance is kind of what I'm getting. Like I feel like with this Venetian backdrop here, it's almost like maybe your part of your self-love journey is to kind of, shower yourself in the types of things that you would want to do with a partner. So perhaps you want to do things like travel to Europe or to Italy or something like that, and you're like on that journey of like doing those loving things for yourself. Or even if you're not, it's something that you're considering, or something that you're feeling more called towards, or it's something that is like is coming through for you from Parvati, is to focus on that devotion to yourself, focus on the sort of romantic energy that you would want to get from a partner, or the types of things you would want to see a partner do for you, and devote that energy and intention and romance and love back in towards yourself. That's kind of what's coming through with this Venus energy. I can see here there's a lot of like, she's got lots of flowers here, and there's all these like flowers that have been thrown into the canal. So it's almost like I'm getting this energy of just, really reveling in being admired by others, really reveling in, sort of being in that very beautiful goddessy, feminine, receptive energy, being very receptive of admiration and, attention from others, kind of like people maybe bringing you sort of little, like, I don't know, bunches of flowers or something like that. Or if you haven't got that from others, then doing that for yourself, like kind of, it's almost like that matching that vibration of, if you would want a partner, or you would want suitors to give you flowers, or give you sort of trinkets, or treat you to like a romantic meal out or something like that. It's almost like doing those things for yourself first, and then you're sort of setting a standard, you're setting a vibrational standard of like how you then expect to be treated. So, I'm even seeing like, doing it's sort of very Taurian Venus energy of like, treating yourself to the finer things in life. So, of course, as much as money can allow, or your circumstances allow, but like say you want, you would want a partner to kind of massage you, it's like maybe taking yourself for a massage, or treating yourself to some flowers, even if it's just like a bunch from the supermarket that's only a few quid and they're on special, or a few dollars or whatever. I'm in the UK, so I'm using the British slang there, quid, but you know what I mean. It's like you don't have to necessarily spend beyond your budget or anything, but it's just that thing of treating yourself how you would like to be treated, or really focusing on self-love is kind of what I'm getting. And I feel like the more devotion that you show to yourself, or the more you focus on your self-love journey, the more you're going to be in the right vibration to magnetize the equivalent, like your counterpart, your divine counterpart that wants to treat you in that same way. So I'm kind of getting that as always, it's a general reading, so you'll all be potentially at different stages of this journey. Some of you, I'm kind of picking up, maybe some of you might have gone through a breakup recently, and you're kind of just going through this new phase of like putting yourself first, and like, treating yourself with self-love, and learning about that, what you love to do, and how you like to be treated, and what you would like in a relationship, and what's important to you. And, just really, enjoying your own company, enjoying being on your own, enjoying maybe sort of taking some trips or something like that by yourself, or that kind of energy, or just enjoying being, like I said, being admired, being out in the dating pool again, that kind of thing. You're reveling in that, or you're relishing that. It's not to say you're taking your mind off the goal of like, wanting to manifest a committed partnership, but you're just in that Venus energy of enjoying being admired, enjoying being pampered, or being having options is kind of what I'm getting. For others of you, might be a little bit further along in that. You might have been doing that for a period of time, and hearing this might be like, oh, but I've been doing that already. Like, where is my person? Or maybe you've sort of been in that energy for a while, and you've got your sights set on someone in particular, or there's a certain connection that you're kind of wanting to, or you're hoping that might manifest into a more committed relationship. And we'll get into that, like I said, with the tarot, but I still feel like the same advice kind of applies of like, your relationship with yourself sets the foundation of all other relationships. And even if you do end up in union with this person you've got your sights set on, or this or some kind of connection that you're hoping for, it's like your relationship with yourself is forever. Like, it's always going to be there. It's always going to be the foundation or the fundamental thing that you'll come back to. Because, even if you're in a romantic relationship with someone, there might be times when, like, they're away, or like, you have to live apart for whatever reason, or like you're not getting on or something. And it's like, it has to still come back to that. Like, if you created that really strong, stable foundation of like self-love and, self-care and enjoying your company and doing things on your own and reveling in that, then that's a really beautiful foundation that will stand you in very good stead for having a longer term committed partnership. So that's kind of what I'm just picking up straight off the bat from the energy coming from this particular Lovers card that you've been drawn towards. So let's have a look at, we've got some cards, some energy now to talk about your person. So if you do have a particular, like maybe as part of this process of like maybe considering your options and dating a few different people, then there may be one particular connection, one particular person that might be coming through. Maybe you don't know them very well yet, you may even just be friends, or you may have only met very briefly or something like that, and you're sort of just curious to see what a potential trajectory could be like with them. So astrology ways, we've got Pluto, we've got Chiron, interesting, planet of wounded healer, and Pluto, planet of the god of the underworld, and we've got new moon. Interesting. Okay, so straight off the bat, just from the astrology, this person could have strong Pluto placements in their chart. Pluto rules Scorpio, so there could be a Scorpio sun, moon, rising. They could also have Chiron. I'm hearing Chiron in their 7th house of partnerships, so they could have actually that's my birth placement. But I don't know why that's coming through, but it could be that Chiron is the planet of like being the wounded healer. It's the planet of where you've had some kind of wound, strong wound, or like there's a soul contract where within your lifetime you'll go through a lot of wounding in that particular, wherever Chiron is placed in your birth chart. You'll be facing a lot of challenges, a lot of deep wounds that are often connected with things from childhood or past lives. And part of your work, part of your soul's journey in this incarnation is to become the wounded healer, is to deliberately sign up to go through those very difficult experiences, to go through those intense wounds, so that you can then heal them in this lifetime and then become the healer in some way. And this may be a whole life journey, a whole process. But yeah, with Pluto as well, this is, like I said, the underworld. So it can be about like things that have been repressed, traumas that have been repressed. So like Pluto combined with Chiron, that's quite intense energy. It's quite heavy energy. So I feel like the person that is coming through, if there's a particular connection you have in mind, could have a lot of wounds in regard to in regard to relationships, or in regard to relating, in regard to vulnerability is what I'm hearing. That's just kind of what I'm getting through. There could be some things that might have been repressed. There could be some difficulties they had in their childhood that is very much part of their path to heal that. So in some way, this could mean that, depending on where they're at in that Chiron wounded healer journey, they could be a healer, they could be, a therapist or a counselor or something like that, if they've kind of gone through that process, met these wounds, done the healing work, and then become a healer themselves. Or they could be some kind of holistic healer or something. Or like I'm hearing like someone who's healed like addiction problems, even though Pluto's not really necessarily to do with addiction, but that's just what's coming through from the Chiron. It's what I'm channeling. This person could, have healed alcohol or drug addiction or some kind of addiction issues, and then now they help others heal from things like that. So it's just that whole thing of going through that journey of experiencing that wound, healing that wound themselves, and then being able to use that knowledge to then help others traverse through that darkness. It's very sort of Hecate energy. It's like, being able to be the guide, being able to like take others through their darkness, meet their darkness, meet that like that wounded self, that repressed self, that shadow self, and then bring that energy back up into the light so that they can then use it to help serve others in some way. And with the new moon, I'm kind of just getting this energy of like that help, that after that work, it's like that helps people get back on their feet. They help give people a new beginning. Like they help people have that new emotional start, because moon is all to do with like the emotions, the emotional self, the feminine self. So there's something around like allowing them to get in touch with that emotional self. So it's very like psychotherapy vibes is what I'm getting. So your person could be a psychotherapist or something. That's just kind of one thing. Or they could be going through therapy. You could have met them in some sort of therapeutic context, like maybe you're training in something like that. There could be someone who, is on a counseling course with you, for example, or something along those lines. But there's something around like, they've had some kind of heavy wounding, possibly around relationships, or just generally in their life. Also with the blue here, I'm getting like throat chakra vibes. So this blue is the color of the throat chakra, which is all about expressing your authentic truth, expressing yourself, being able to express your needs, being able to be true to yourself, being able to express your creativity. So that could be something that this person is working through, or they are very skilled at now. If they've kind of done that deeper work, they may be a very good speaker, or very good at speaking about sort of Pluto type themes, like things that are normally very repressed. So again, I'm kind of just getting a vibe as someone who studied like psychology or sociology, or kind of like things related to trauma, things related to like I'm hearing, but this is very specific, but PTSD. So your person may have PTSD or CPTSD, or they may work in that type of field, or be some kind of something kind of along those lines is kind of what I'm getting. Let's have a look at the other energy. So we've got abundance, card number 23. We've got Sagittarius energy. So your person could be Sagittarius, which kind of I guess in terms of like that pursuit of knowledge, that pursuit of higher learning and wisdom, your person could be very smart. They could be someone who's gone to university or studied. They could be studying psychotherapy, or have studied that, or be somewhere even if they haven't done it in a very formal way, they are still someone who pursues wisdom, pursues knowledge, especially in order to heal themselves and others, and be able to be in a position to be able to give other people new beginnings. We've got fertility. Interesting. We've got Leo energy here. So yeah, I'm kind of getting this person could, just with the number 29 as well, they could be 29. So that could be actually linking with that Chiron. Quite often Chiron can in terms of the becoming the wounded healer, it can click into place around the time of a Saturn return if Chiron is a very strong aspect of someone's chart. So it could be that around the age of 29 they've gone through some kind of Saturn return, whether they're that age now or they're a bit older than that, but that could have been something that led to them then becoming like pursuing this knowledge, this wisdom, training in this area, delving into this repressed part of themselves, training in, like I'm hearing like Jungian analysis or something like that, or at least going through therapy or something. It's like something kind of came up around that age, around that kind of Saturn return, and it's in order to help them be able to both themselves shine their light with that Leo energy, being able to be more confident in themselves and shine their own light, and also help others with that as well, as what I'm getting. It's like they help fertilize. It's like a very kind of Cancer energy, with the moon. It's like they help other people connect with that watery realm, like with this little beaker here and the water, and there's this little angel. It's like this person is like kind of has this energy where they are like in the water, and they kind of help guide people through navigating their emotional selves, or navigating, you know, the depths of the underworld, the depths of their psyche, the depths of their emotions, so that they can have this new beginning. They kind of help fertilize like a new beginning, essentially, help people find their own like inner fertility. Like it's kind of like that energy of like I'm thinking of, you know, in gardening, like actual fertilizer, like using fertilizer to you know, which is usually made up of things that have decomposed. So it's like death energy, right? To fertilize new life. So it's like they have that energy of being able to sort of alchemize, of being able to take painful experiences, traumatic experiences, and then use those as fertilizers for growth, for new growth, for a new beginning. And it's something that I feel like they, depending on where they're at in this journey, because this could be they've only just discovered that this is something they're interested in, or they've only just got in touch with this wound, or they could be much further along and they're literally in that sort of the healer stage of being a wounded healer, and this is something that is going to bring them a lot of abundance. Let's get all the other cards out. I feel like everything needs to be on the table now. So we've got stimulation with chili. We've got aligned, card number 42. We've got abandoned, card number 32. Yeah, okay, that is making, I should have just got this out at the beginning. That is making a lot of sense with the Chiron, with the wound. There's some kind of abandonment wound there. I'm also getting a lot of mirroring energy. So it could be that a lot of what I'm talking about here may be more you, especially because at the beginning I was talking about this as like a self-love journey that you're on. So this energy could be you. For some of you, it could be that I'm more describing your own path and your devotion to your own self and your own spiritual path. For others of you, this is a person, but it may be that you both share a lot of these aspects and you mirror each other a lot, because I'm just getting very, I don't know, for some reason I'm feeling mirroring energy. So you could both have a lot of this energy, or you could, like I said, you could both have met on a counseling course, or both have like, when you met, you triggered each other to have the key wound, the core abandonment wound, come to the surface, so that you could go through that Chiron process of healing that wound and then becoming a healer in some way. So you had to meet this person in order to have that abandonment wound triggered or stimulated. It had to like, activate it, kind of thing, in order to bring you into alignment with this new beginning. And then we've got reaction and perspective. Wow, the energy of these cards is amazing. It feels like reaction and abandon. It's like this connection had to come in, or this person came in, or both of you, when you met and triggered this abandonment wound, it like caused intense reactions, intense emotional reactions. This person, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see, this person is crying. That, you know, they've got their hand up to their throat, to their chest, to their heart, you know. But there's a lot of lotus flowers on here. And lotus is like what I was saying about the fertilizer. Like lotus flowers are the most beautiful flowers that grow on the surface, on the top of ponds that have the most scummy stuff underneath. They've had to grow through absolute shit, you know, like absolute like fertilizer essentially, which has fertilized their growth. They're so beautiful at the top and they look so peaceful and zen, but like they've had to grow through the murkiest, most very plutonian vibes, very like underworld vibes, like dark, heavy, oppressive stuff. So I feel like both of you have had you know, you've really both been on this self-love journey, and you've triggered that in each other to like to heal these wounds and focus on loving yourself, on healing these abandonment wounds, healing that emotional reactivity, because it may be that you've possibly tried to be in a connection with this person, but it's like I'm kind of getting a little bit twin flame vibes, where it's like very highly triggering. So like it's almost very difficult when you first meet to sustain a committed partnership in any kind of traditional fashion, because the design of the partnership is meant to bring these wounds to the surface to be healed. Like it's literally designed for that purpose. It's not necessarily designed for romance. It's supposed to trigger these wounds. It's supposed to bring about that healing. It's supposed to set you on a path of alignment with your power as a healer, like with the Chiron energy there. And also, yeah, bring you into alignment with a different perspective. Like the energy of this card, it's like going from darkness to light, like be able to see, hold your, it's interesting she's holding a blue ball, and I was talking about the blue ball with the blue energy with Chiron. It's like she's holding the wound in front of her. She's holding her, it's like the wounds that happened to her throat chakra, or his throat chakra. Holding them in front and having a different perspective on everything that happened, on all the abandonment, on all the pain, on all the childhood difficulty. And again, that's very like therapist vibes. It's like, you know, the process of going to therapy and going through that, you know, that Pluto, going into the underworld and like examining the psyche, examining, you know, childhood wounds and pain and so forth, is to like be able to get a different perspective on it, be able to like, you know, process that emotion, purge through that emotion, and then come out with a renewed perspective on, you know, our childhood, so that we can move forward and align with what is best for us. And there's just this I can't remember the name of that type of, there's a crystal, is it ammonite? Yeah, ammonite is what's coming through. Ammonite crystal could be very good for you, because ammonite helps you to, what's the word, like it helps you to align. It helps you to like let go of all the wounds, of all the traumas, of all the conditioning, of all the pain, of all the layers of stuff that society or family or whatever it is has put on you. It allows you to like go through that cyclical process, or actually it's kind of like this, it's starting from the outside and then peeling off the onion layers, going deeper and deeper within. And like onions, I'm just hearing onions make you cry. It's like a painful process. It's meant to purge out, release all those layers of energy that has been projected on you, all the like abandonment wounds or issues with like not your true self not being heard or seen when you were younger. And it's designed to like peel back the onion layers and go to the core of who you really are. So ammonite crystal could be very helpful to get back to the core of your true self, and to have a newfound perspective on, you know, what you went through, that's been stimulated and triggered by this relationship. This particular connection has like activated this within you, this wounding, and it's designed to bring it to the surface to be healed, so that you can move into alignment with this new beginning that's meant for you, this newfound perspective, and this newfound truth as who you really are. Wow, really powerful energy. So yeah, it's almost like I'm getting the vibe that this isn't even necessarily a romantic connection, but this is like a connection you have with your therapist or something, or this is like your therapeutic process that you're going through. But maybe you met one person who you felt a strong connection with, and that stimulated or triggered all of this to happen. All of this intense reactivity, this intense emotional purging, this intense Kundalini awakening, this intense like wounds to come to the surface, and you had to go, you know, I'm kind of getting, to be honest, I'm getting almost like trauma bond is what I'm hearing. It won't be the case of all of you. For some of you, this connection was a trauma bond or is a trauma bond, or it's designed to bring those traumas and things to the surface for you to work with them so that you can heal them and become more aligned. For others of you, this is kind of more of a spiritual, because there is a little purple here as well, which is crown chakra energy, you know, aligning with your higher self, aligning with, you know, your connection with spirit. So for some of you, this is more of a spiritual connection. It'll be different for all of you. So just take it as it resonates, depending on, you know, where you're at with, you know, you'll know. It's chances are, if you've gone to therapy, your therapist may have even pointed out, I feel that this is a trauma bond. Or something like that, or you may have come to that realization recently. and it was designed to like, you know, it doesn't make it any less, you know, like sometimes there's so much pressure to kind of have these like kind of perfect romantic relationships, but sometimes the most important, most impactful relationships are very short term but very intense, quite extreme, triggering relationships that are designed to come in and like stir up that kind of those Chiron themes of like, yeah, stirring up those wounds, stimulating that wound in order to heal it. And it could be the sort of thing that in the future you look back when you've got this newfound perspective and you're like, holy crap, I am so grateful that I met that person, because like, even though it didn't necessarily work out to become a committed romantic partnership, and we'll get into that with the tarot in a moment, but you know, and it might be that it does, but for some of you, if it doesn't and you end up with someone else or whatever it might be, you'll look back on this though, if it is a trauma, more of a trauma bond, and be like, wow, I am so glad I met that person, and that it triggered all these wounds, and it triggered all these reactions within me, because it helped me purge them out. It helped create this, like, it was like, it helped me go through that fertilization process of growing this whole new self, aligning me with my actual purpose, and bringing these wounds to the surface so that they could fully be healed, and I could move towards this new beginning and possibly become even like a healer or something yourself in some way. Yeah, because like I'm seeing all these birds, and they're all, and like this person has these wings, so it's like, it's almost like it's going to create so much movement. It's like you can move forward in your life, you can move on from this kind of, look how dark this energy is with this abandoned, it's like very mired in wounds, and how dark this Pluto energy is, and this reaction card as well. There's just a lot of like, yeah, a lot of like going into the depths, delving into the depths of the psyche, healing wounds. But like this card is so beautiful and light, like this blue ball that she's holding, like kind of the healed throat chakra almost, like she's holding it out like, this is my truth now. I'm clear on who I am. I'm clear on who I truly am. I've got this newfound perspective on myself and my life, and it's like so much light that's beaming around it, which is that Leo energy, coming back to that with the fertility. So wow, super powerful energy. I was not expecting that from this, like let's have a look at the tarot now to get into it. Actually, I'm going to move these off the table, create a bit of space. Yeah, let's look at the tarot to look into, now that we've done the energy check. Move that to one side. We'll go into, where is this connection heading? So Spirit, where is this connection heading? Pile 3, this person that's triggered all this stuff to come up. Where is this connection? Okay, it's falling on the ground. We've got Princess of Staves, which is Princess of Wands. Yeah, new beginning, new moon, new buds, new growth, new passion, newfound creativity. Yeah, it's kind of like coming back to this like Venusian energy of like doing what you're passionate about, going after what you want. Like you want to go traveling, you're passionate about traveling, you go do that. You want to like treat yourself to something, or indulge in some beautiful food or whatever it might be. It's like, you go do that now. You've got certain hobbies you want to try out because you've done that work, or because this connection is triggered doing that work of gaining a perspective on who you truly are. It's like you've got that energy now, and you've been stimulated to like focus on things that you enjoy, things that you love, maybe trying new hobbies. It's like, you know, she's holding this wand and it's got these little, all these different little sprouts of new growth, and she's like looking at it very intently, like, wow, I grew that, or like I did that, like I planted that and saw it grow. So it's like, but you're in princess energy is like still coming into a state of mastery with that. It's like you're not quite the queen yet. It's not quite fully blossomed into like a full blown tree. You're still enjoying that process of like self-discovery and self-growth. Really beautiful energy. which it kind of comes back to what I was saying at the beginning with this self-love journey that you're on. It's like a continuation of yeah, finding out what you're passionate about and trying it. Where is this connection heading though, Spirit? Where is this connection heading? Where is this connection heading? Fertility. My goodness. Fertility twice. There's a lot of fertile energy. Fertility. So, yeah, I kind of feel like this, you know, this has the chance of growing into something. I feel like that it has the option of growing. I'm just getting with this desert here though. Interesting. Yeah, I'm getting, there's a lot of warmth or a lot of heat. So this could certainly be something where there's a lot of passion energy, or a lot of physical attraction, or a lot of like sort of sacral chakra energy is what I'm getting. Like a lot of sort of, because staves is related to the element of fire, and then we've got this like desert sun setting. So yeah, there could be, or maybe this is like, I'm kind of also getting some of you or your person might live somewhere like in the desert or near a desert, or like somewhere like I don't know, because I have never been to the States, but is it Sonoma? I'm probably butchering that. I'm sorry. I don't know that place. This is what I'm channeling. But yeah, there's something around like, there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of fertile potential for this to become something. Where is this connection heading? Contemplation. This is equivalent to the moon card. Yeah. It's interesting. It's the same, like there's a single female on all of these cards. You don't have to identify as female, but it's like there's a single person or a single feminine energy on all of these cards. And again, there's no pairs. It'll be interesting to see if any other cards come up, but at the moment it's like you're kind of very much just on your own self-love journey more, and like, you know, contemplating. I feel like you're maybe contemplating this person, you're contemplating the potential for this connection, you're contemplating your own life and like gaining a different perspective on, you know, perhaps why you met them, or how they've maybe changed your life path in some way. But I also feel like this is kind of, this particular card, Chang'o, the goddess Chang'o, Chinese goddess of like the moon, and like she's very much a goddess who can help you to like contemplate and admire and appreciate your own self and your own beauty. So it comes back to what I was saying at the beginning with the Venus card. It's like part of this journey, or part of meeting this person, is being able to be more loving towards yourself and contemplate and focus more on how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are. Where is this connection heading? Where is this connection heading? Princess of Swords and Temptation. Interesting. So we've got two princess cards, Princess of Wands and Princess of Swords. Which is like kind of like Knight of Swords, but it's more feminine energy. So it's like cutting. I feel like you're contemplating who or what is good for you, what you need to cut out of your life, because with the swords it can be a lot to do with being very decisive and clear cut, and you know, I'm kind of hearing like knowing your worth and knowing what you do and don't deserve, and cutting away connections or things that aren't serving you. Now that you're in this period of like, you know, having this newfound perspective on things, and you know, having healed this abandonment wound, or working through healing that abandonment wound, you're not willing, it's like I'm hearing you're not willing to put up with shit anymore, essentially. You're not willing to put up with behavior that is not like behavior that's not in alignment with your own worth or what you deem worthy, or the devotion that you show yourself. It's kind of like you're now in this new stage in your life where you're able to see your own beauty, you're able to see your own worth, you have a different perspective on things, you are focusing on yourself and your own energy. So if someone else shows up and they are disrespectful, or they don't give you the time of day, or they're hot and cold or something like that, you're kind of like, does that match with the energy, the devotion that I'm showing myself? No, not really. And you're just being very like, you're learning to set boundaries and like cut away things that aren't serving you. With temptation here, it's like very mermaid. It's like mermaid energy with Laura Kizil. It's like very, there's a pull, there's an emotional pull towards this person though. It's like a siren song. Like you hear this siren song. There could be a somewhat addictive quality about your connection with them, because I feel like it could be that almost that twin flame thing, or that where is it? Like kind of like it's designed to deliberately kind of stimulate those wounds. So it's like you may still have, even if you've kind of gone into somewhat of a separation or you're not with them, you may still have this like siren song where you kind of still feel their energy kind of tempting you or pulling you. But this card can speak of, and it's very green, which is linked with the heart chakra, which is like, your heart may be pulling you towards them. It may feel very tempted to go towards that connection. But I feel like with it being next to the Princess of Swords, it's like you're contemplating whether you should cut this out of your life, this temptation, because it might be not necessarily serving you at the moment. Because this temptation card can talk about like being consumed by something, like something being so tempting that it like you lose yourself in it. So maybe if you're still in a process of like healing abandonment wounds and maybe healing, say, codependency or something, that's just what I'm getting through. It could be that this connection could be very tempting, because I don't want to say it's a test, but it's like, is it really, it's like if you've gained this newfound, sort of boundary, and like, working out whether something is deserving of your energy or not, it's like doing the discerning work of working out if this temptation is really worth it. If it like kind of pulls you under is what I'm getting, or becomes consuming and like you lose yourself in it. There's something around like needing to kind of like set a boundary, or like protect yourself, or stay focused on yourself and your own energy. Will this connection lead to committed union? Interesting. Tradition, Juno. Quite possibly. Juno is the goddess of partnership. We've got tradition here, which is like, this is the Hierophant card in tarot, which means like a formal structure, or a formal, a traditional structure, a traditional commitment or something. So this could well mean, and Juno is often deemed to be the goddess of marriage. But there's this peacock in the background, and I feel like this is kind of saying like, this has the potential to become a committed partnership or a marriage or something like that. But once you're focused on like, once you can really see your own worth, your own beauty, like the peacock isn't afraid to like poof, like shine its full feathers and be kind of out in the world. I think, was I talking about one of the cards? Yeah. the fertility card, the Leo, once you're fully comfortable in that Leo energy of like, or that peacock energy of like shining your light, and I feel like you're getting there with the princess energy. It's like you're already in the court, right? You're already a princess. You just haven't kind of maybe got to that point of being like fully sovereign of that yet. So there's something around like it's got the potential to be something, but it's like she's wearing this blue dress, which again is connected with the throat chakra. Once you're fully confident in who you really are and speaking your truth and owning that 100%, then this could well either come back into being or ascend to a high level of commitment if you're already just say dating this person, or it could move into something more serious, like maybe you've just met them, but it could become more of a relationship. Will this lead to committed union? Will this lead to King of Staves, King of Wands? Yeah, I mean, let me get a few more. Will this lead to committed union? Magic, Isis. Will this lead to committed union? Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords under the Princess of Swords. Let's get one more. Will this lead to committed union? Queen of Staves, Queen of Wands, counterpart energy. Yeah. So basically what I'm getting is like, first of all, we've got counterpart energy with King of Wands and Queen of Wands. But I feel like it's like there's a journey for you to get to the Queen of Wands, or there's a journey you're going through to come into that sovereignty. Because at the moment, like you're in this your energy is coming through as this princess energy, whether you're man or woman, doesn't matter. It's just, the knight energy or page energy, where you're still practicing, you're still learning something, or still growing, still mastering something. And maybe they are too. Maybe like both of you are mirroring each other in that sense, that you're both focusing on your self-growth. You're both focusing on self-love. You're both focusing on like your, growing your, like healing your wounds, growing yourself, your career, your healing journey, contemplating your own beauty, your own like things that you're passionate about, getting to like cultivating mental strength and discipline and boundaries, setting boundaries, not getting lost in connections, not getting lost in relationships, even though they may be very tempting, not getting subsumed or consumed. With magic, this is the magician with Isis here. This is the card of being able to manifest something. So I feel like you have the potential to manifest a traditional committed partnership, or a marriage if that's what you're wanting, or some kind of high level of commitment with this person as your counterpart. And both of you showing up in Wands energy is like there is a lot of like heat between you, as I mentioned with that fertility card in the desert and the like fiery energy. There is a lot of passion, there is a lot of chemistry, there is a lot of like warmth between you. And you definitely have the power to manifest a higher level of connection. But there's some mental thoughts that are standing in your way. Nine of Swords is like, it's the insomnia card, or it's the card of anxiety, the card of like negative mental chatter that is upsetting you. It's distorting your kind of energy field is what I'm getting. Negative mental patterns, mental loops. And I feel like that's something that with the Princess of Swords above that, it's like you're learning to manage that. This could be talking about like abandonment wounds. So this could be something like you're actually in a connection with this person, but you're maybe not in a like fully committed relationship, and you're both very much on your own journeys towards this self-love, and maybe both going through therapy, or one or other of you's going through therapy to deal with those abandonment wounds. And it's like this connection may still trigger those abandonment wounds quite a lot and give you sleepless nights or a lot of anxiety. There could still be a lot of like things that keep coming up because of the nature of this type of connection, especially if it is a twin flame type connection. It's kind of designed to like tackle that and bring it to the surface and heal it. And you're working through setting like or like becoming very clear about where the roots of those wounds, the roots of these painful memories or thoughts, these abandonment fears. You're working through tackling codependency with that temptation and the getting, because you can see this figure. It's like she's just sort of lost in this wave. So like I'm kind of hearing like love addiction type energy, or like, just getting very lost, which is a very natural thing, especially for women. I feel like sometimes men do, but I feel like women, partly to do with the way we're socialized, often tend to get very lost in relationships. Think of how many, I was watching this show the other day and the girl was talking about like, I can't remember which TV show it was, but it was something like, what happens to your girlfriends when they meet a partner, and it's like, yeah, they're not really around very much. And she's like, yeah. And it's like, it kind of is, it often is, it is a little bit of a stereotypical thing. And obviously not all women are like that. Just as certainly some men can also get very consumed by things as well and get lost and like, lose their themselves, lose their passions, their hobbies, and get very like sucked into, subsumed with, consumed with, just being in a relationship. So there's something around needing to heal that, and something around healing that abandonment wound. But once you're able to work through all of that and come into this like Queen of Wands energy, where you're just completely in this sovereign energy of like she's just so focused on her own self, her own spiritual journey, her own growth, her own passions, what she loves. And you've managed to transcend all these like fears, and they're never gonna go away fully. I will just say that now, like, if you've had a lot of that abandonment wound, this is something I've worked through myself, so I'm speaking from experience. It never fully it's not like you wake up one day and you're like, boom, oh, I'm healed. like it's not a linear process. It's not like a paint by numbers, like 1, 2, 3, you go to a certain therapy and then like it's vanished. You've healed the wound, and like now you can come into a relationship and be 100% happy all the time and never have anything triggered or fearful, like, especially if it is, like I said, if it is a kind of twin type connection, and this is a connection you want to pursue into a committed partnership. Those connections are testing, and that will continue to maybe keep stimulating, keep causing you to dive deep, bring up more things, bring up more traumas to be healed. But that allows you to step into your power. The deeper you do that healing work, and the more you kind of go within and heal those mental patterns, heal those thought patterns, and like focus on your own self and your own power and your own self-development, the stronger both you'll be and your connection will be as well. It's interesting, this King of Wands is like looking towards, so I feel like this is your person. Even though it's showing up as a king, they can be man or woman, doesn't matter how they identify, but like they're showing up in King of Wands energy, and they're kind of like they're a master at, they know what they want, they know what their passions are, they know how to they're like very grounded in their spiritual development. And also this particular King of Wands is very laid back. I feel like his energy is quite, like, he's quite chill, and he's kind of just leaning back. But he's looking towards the Queen of Wands. But the Queen of Wands is looking towards, she's not looking towards him. She's looking towards this original wand that she planted and watching it grow. She's focused on her own self-growth. And I feel like that's the ultimate message, which kind of loops it all back around very nicely. Bookends it back to what I was talking about at the beginning with the Venus love thing of like focusing on yourself and your own self-love and your own self-growth, self-growth, devoting your time and energy to yourself. What do you love? What are your passions? What are your hobbies? Where are you going? Your own healing, your own growth, healing any mental blocks, healing any addiction issues or abandonment wounds or whatever, you know, becoming the wounded healer, if that's something that you're working on, you know, in terms of like becoming a healer, you know, using everything, you know, all the fertilizer that you've had to grow through, using it to then be able to help others. It's like you're focusing on that journey, and the more you do that, the more that attracts this person to you, and the more likely it is that this could end up being a committed partnership, if that's what you decide you want. If that is something you decide you can sustain because of what it is going to bring up. But I do feel like you can manifest it. And for those of you that are doing manifesting, I feel like with magic and Isis showing up there, it's like this, even if it looks dead on the surface at the moment, this can be regenerated, because Isis is a goddess of like, you know, bringing things back from the dead, like regenerating them. You know, she brought her dead husband Osiris back from the dead. You know, so it's like you, even if this connection has gone cold or it seems like nothing is happening, it's like the more you're focused on yourself, and you know, if you want to keep manifesting it, it's like you can bring it back, but just be aware that it may bring some things up. It may bring some abandonment things up to be healed, some codependency things, or some like fears or traumas. I'm hearing specifically father wound. So some of you could have been abandoned by a father or something like that. So, you know, this type of connection, this spiritually healing connection can, you know, it's a mirror, you know, it comes in to like shine a light on what's going on within. But if that's something that you feel is like worth pursuing, then provided you stay focused on yourself and your self-love journey, then I feel like, yeah, you can manifest a committed partnership with this person. The potential, as I said with that fertility card, the potential is there. Okay, let's finish up with some guidance cards. Spirit, can we have some final guidance for pile 3? Whoa, I'm flying out. I bring peace with me wherever I go. Oh, yeah, staying very peaceful about this, because this energy, I feel like, is like I said, it's kind of disrupting your vibration or disrupting the magnetism between you. It's like it's the King and Queen of Swords are like a little bit far apart at the moment, and like in between is magic, so doing that manifesting stuff and like overcoming this anxiety or these thought patterns. And it's interesting, I'm just noticing now these swords are pointed towards like you, so it's like your thought patterns towards yourself, so your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you view yourself. You know, do you see yourself as this Queen of Wands, as an equal counterpart to this person? You know, it's self-worth, working around self-worth. So yeah, I feel like that's the focus, and coming into a state of peace, focusing on your peace. You know, that's very much this Chango energy, this contemplation energy, being very peaceful within yourself, being very peaceful within your vibration, you know, healing these distortions, these mental distortions or disruptions. Sort of like self-hatred is what I'm hearing specifically. Victimization, or very like angry thoughts against yourself or something you've a lot of self-conflict as well. So like kind of easing that out and focusing on your peace. You're deserving of peace. You're deserving of a peaceful connection, both within yourself and with this person. Some more guidance for pile 3. I'm willing to see my sameness with others. This opens my awareness to oneness. I'm willing to see my sameness. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of what I was saying about the Queen of Wands and seeing yourself as an equal partnership, as an equal worthy partner of the King of Wands. It's like you're not, maybe at the moment you see yourself as a princess or not even a princess, like you just see yourself as not equal. It's like maybe you've put this person on a bit of a pedestal and you don't see yourself in this like sovereign energy. So it's like, like, no, you are the same. You are on the same level. You are as worthy of this person as they are as you. There's no like hierarchy here. You know, that will allow you to kind of like remove this and then manifest. See, look, Isis has got her hands like that, like you're equals kind of thing, you know, pointing to the two of you. It's like Isis is trying to bring you together. I feel like, but your thought patterns and your fears and your wounds are kind of are like blocking this person trying to manifest you. So yeah, there's something around seeing your worth, seeing your beauty, focusing on your beauty, contemplating yourself as an equal and worthy counterpart, as you know, as worthy of a beautiful reciprocal relationship. That could be a good affirmation. I'm worthy of a reciprocal relationship. I'm worthy. That was something that I worked with and I manifested it with magic and manifestation. It took years of work, but I did it. So it is possible. It is possible. Okay, we've got all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. Yes. I feel like, this is this 9 of Swords, like the fears, the abandonment fears, or the like, you know, maybe distrust, or like, because, you know, especially if you have had a father wound, like maybe, you know, you had a father walk out on you or your family when you were younger. And there's just this deep-seated fear that this person's going to abandon you or something. And it's like, you know, every time those fears come up, even once you're in partnership, because like I say, relationships are a mirror. So if you've got those fears in your subconscious or going on within you, just because once you're in a committed partnership, that doesn't make them go away. You'll still have them. It'll still come up to the surface. It'll just get a bit, you'll get better at managing it. You'll get better at dealing with it. As time goes on, you'll start to feel more safe. But yeah, saying an affirmation like all is well, everything is working out for my highest good, out of this situation only good will come. I am safe. You are safe. I feel like this connection is safe for you. I can't control the world, but I can control how I choose to perceive it. I've got like all these eyes. Interesting. Yeah, and we had perceiving or perspective. Choosing how you perceive something, choosing how you perceive yourself, I feel like. Maybe with the choosing how you perceive it is like, I picked up a sort of, for some of you, maybe a little bit of victim consciousness there of like, you know, and that could be what's coming up in these swords, like everyone hurts me, or everyone is going to abandon me, or the world is a negative place, the world is a scary place, the world is an unsafe place, nothing works out for me, or like relationships never work out for me, or, you know, negative thought patterns. Because 9 of Swords is like, can often be like fairly entrenched, you know, negative thought patterns that you're working through. And I feel like you are working through these. It's not like I don't get the vibe that you're just totally on a little jolly, just completely unaware of all this. I feel like with all that Chiron and everything that came at the beginning, you are well aware of all of this, and you are doing your best, your damnedest to work through it. So well done, pile 3. Like, you know, you're tackling, you know, this Princess of Swords, like, you're tackling this self-love journey. You've planted that plant in the ground of like, this is the new me, this is my life now. I'm hearing like I'm gonna love the shit out of myself. Like, and you're doing it. You're on that journey. You're learning not to kind of take on others' perceptions or like how other people see you. And also like control, the 9 of Swords, and control, like you're learning to deal with, I feel like, these abandonment fears, and knowing that you can't actually, you can't control this person, and you can't prevent this person from abandoning you, but you can not abandon yourself. It's like you are rebuilding yourself up, replanting yourself, and rewatering yourself, and regrowing yourself, so that you are at a point where you're like unabandonable, because you're not abandoning you anymore. This abandonment wound, you know. Oops, that's the wrong card. Where was it? There it is. You know, this is like, this person's got their eyes closed. It's like they can't really see their true selves. They can't see the beauty of themselves. It's like, you know, it's like you were taught through something that happened in your childhood or teenage years or whatever it might be, to not listen to your true self, and to you might have continuously, like, you might have absorbed that pattern and continuously abandoned yourself in order to be in relationships. So you might have manifested a pattern of connections where people did abandon you because you kept abandoning your own self. You kept abandoning things you were passionate about. You kept abandoning friends, or like, you know, your focus on your career, or your focus on your happiness, or your focus on, you know, your self-love journey, which is why this self-love thing, it keeps coming back to that, of like, you can't be abandoned. You can disrupt that abandonment pattern or that abandonment wound by never abandoning yourself, which is why I feel like we've got this King of Wands focusing so intently on this Queen of Wands, who's focused so intently on her own growth and her own self. And like, that is what disrupts, that is what will like transmute the abandonment wound, and mean that you don't need to control your partner anymore, or you don't need to control this person anymore, or try to hold on so tight, or stop them from like abandoning you, or be so fearful of that outcome, because like you are unabandonable. You're not like, you're not abandoning yourself. So as within, so without, right? Like they won't abandon you. It's just, yeah. And it will lead to a committed partnership. If that's what you want, there's the option for that. But self-love is the key. Staying focused on yourself and seeing yourself as worthy. You are worthy, pile number 3. Okay, my loves, I feel like that is all the messages I have for you today. Leave a comment below if this resonated. I would love to hear from you. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of the Els Temple community. I would love to have you here. And hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. If the reading resonated, hit the like button. It just helps tell me and the algorithm what content you're resonating with at the moment. Also, I have a Patreon as well for those of you that might be interested in more goddess readings. I've got 3 different tiers, so check out my Patreon below. It's brand new, so I've only got a couple of videos up so far, but there's going to be a lot more content uploaded in the coming month. You can read about it in the membership tiers. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. All the best with your journey towards union. I wish you every happiness in your relationships, and especially your relationship with yourself, #1 foundation. And all my love to you, pile 3, and I will see you in the next reading.